now. Yeah, there you go.
Hello again. Wow, that didn't come out right.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. You see, the problem is now, such a face, you're interrupting my freaking rhyme that now totally threw me off. For once again, we are late and gay. Because you see, last night, we spoke too much. It was a rare occasion for Aiden, because she did not make fun of the Dutch. And so we shall discuss far more too deep, and for 5 more hours, let's pray I don't fall asleep.
Actually, that's not true. I did reference the nice South Africa song yesterday, so...
I like the way that you have to interrupt my rhyme to either fuck up my rhyme instead of just going like, oh, that was funny, and you ruin my joke.
You're welcome. Oh my.
My co-host is an asshole.
No.
She's mean.
How am I... I'm mean? How am I mean?
You didn't even let me make fun of you.
I'm sorry.
Yes. All I asked was for 15 seconds to make a joke, and you totally fucked it up.
Sorry.
You interrupt far too often. You're rude.
Happy Friday, everybody. We never stream on Fridays. We weren't supposed to stream on Thursday, but I was sick on Wednesday. And we had too much stuff to cover yesterday, so...
oh, that NATO tweet, yeah. Oh my god, that NATO tweet.
We're going to cover the NATO tweet.
Like,
we're going to cover the NATO tweet, because
I saw Sticks at a video, and I was like, this can't be that bad. And I read like, oh my god, this is insanely cringe. This is actually NATO... The amount of comments I saw that were like, if this is what we have, I hope Russia wins.
I mean,
that was the consensus. Yeah, it's like, if this is what we got, Russia deserves to win. Like,
just because of that tweet. It's really awful. Oh, Ardent Party has a new video that he just posted on Rumble. If you guys want to check that out, go ahead. Ardent Party is a friend of the show. So please go check out his content on Rumble. Absolutely. And I'll check it out later as well, Ardent. Thank you for posting. Thank you for showing up. Hello again, everybody. We have a lot of stuff to get into. Now, I thought we could just start this stuff with this Georgia grand jury 4 person who is...
Oh, the crackhead?
Yeah, trying to... Okay. I don't know about crackhead. I'm really not sure. I also am not a body language expert. I'm just not.
You don't need to be a body language expert to look at the thing. That thing is high as a kite.
Something is... I don't know if it's high. Something is
These
weird.
bitches high as fuck.
Something is very bizarre. Something very odd is going on with this.
It's called drugs, Aiden.
I actually don't think it's drugs, and I'm going to explain why.
It's either drugs or she's an attention seeker who's on TikTok.
Yes, she is an attention seeker, 100%. She explains it's like, from the way it sounds in this, she basically is trying to take Trump to court, or wants Trump to go to court so that she can meet him. Yeah. That's what she says, and it does come off as a little bit weird. I think she probably
witch crackhead. Oh god, yeah, she did have all the witchy shit thing.
The witchy stuff. I don't know. She might. Yeah, she has
dildo crystals.
Was that what it was? That she had a blog
Wiccan
or something?
Shit, yeah.
What was it, Spin? That she has like a blog or something that's about.
It was a Pinterest
witch stuff. Oh, Pinterest, right?
Yeah.
So.
And it was terrible.
That sounded. What we've said right now, for those who are not aware of who this woman is and have not seen the clip, probably sounded a little bit schizophrenic. It's going to get worse.
It is definitely going to get
worse. It is Women's Hours in 25 minutes. I have a good part 2. Thank you.
Women Hour.
Women Hour is another podcast. I don't know. Again, so I don't normally do Fridays. A lot of people are hanging out and doing this. Trying to get through it.
Oh, what's up, Alex? We should get Alex on the show once. Alex is good people.
For sure. Bill might show up for some of the later part. He said.
Oh, sweet.
Harry and Meghan. But I did want to explain that the person that we're about to watch is again is the jury 4 person. Now it's making more people. I've even seen leftists come out and be like, "Wow, this is Poe's Law," the main person who hosts Women's Hour, Women Hour, which I've been on with before on Women's Hour. Poe's a lovely person, and it was a very fun time.
We should do the Sticks clip, because Sticks managed to somehow sum up 100 years of American history in essentially 10 seconds.
I will when we get to that topic. Let's get through this jury 4 person first.
Best is good.
Getting ahead of yourself. Look, we still have so much to go through, because we went for 4.5, nearly 5 hours last night, and then I went and hung out with Uzalo till like 5 in the morning. But like,
well done.
Other stuff, doing his show, but We talked for like 5 hours. We watched that Jim Sterling video, and we did not get into, in terms of my show notes. I can just show you guys real quick. I'll bring it up here, without giving too much away. This over here. You can see how I organized that. You can see how I can organize the show. Is that I post all the links. I give them little titles of the segments.
You're not sharing your screen, so I don't know how you're doing this.
I am sharing my screen.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
You just had it up a second ago. You had the CNN up, and now you don't.
I'll do it again. Can you see it now?
No.
I'm sharing my screen.
It now I can.
Okay, I was gonna say, it sounds like a you problem.
Okay, listen here, okay? When I had the screen up, you had the CNN one, and then it went down because you probably clicked off and went back on. No. That's the reason why. Okay, so how is it that I didn't touch anything, you changed the browser, and then somehow this is my fault?
All right. Anyway, guys, here's the point. This is what we got
I will
last
bully
night.
you, woman, if you say it's my fault and it's not.
I'm not saying it's your fault.
I will fight you till you have bloody noses.
This is the part we got through last night. This is the full show notes, as you can see here.
This is what an average show looks like for Aiden. And we have only once in our entire time of doing this show have we ever gone through one.
Everything.
Yes, only once. And yet Aiden,
prepare.
Yes, by 80% more work than is necessary.
I like to prepare.
Which is not very capitalistic of you.
So, speaking of preparing for a show, I don't think this woman did. And speaking of, again, also,
I think she did. She just prepared with substances.
It's possible she's on substances. It's possible she's just really nervous. It's also possible, and my belief is that this is some sort of psychological disorder, or particularly a personality disorder, which is what is alarming. This kind of behavior looks like attention seeking. Now, I don't know this woman at all.
I have a much more simpler explanation.
Sure.
She's a millennial.
I'm a millennial. You're a millennial.
I know. And who would know better? Who would know millennials better than other millennials?
Let's just play the video so people, so we're not just talking about it, so people can actually see what it is. Well, it's up for you. It's working. All right, let's go. Let's go. I mean,
you've seen. What would your reaction be if the DA decides against bringing any charges after what you've seen?
I will be sad if nothing happens. Like that's about my only request there is for something to happen. I don't necessarily know what it is. I'm not the legal expert. I'm not the judge. I'm not the lawyers, but I will be frustrated if nothing happens. This was too much information, too much of my time, too much of everyone's time, too much of their time, too much argument in court about getting people to appear before us. There was just too much for this to just be, oh, okay, we're good, bye.
And if it was just a perjury charge, or perjury charges, would that be acceptable to you?
Look, I get that. Like, I don't have a great-looking smile, okay? I get it. Can't really help that. But her smile just looks evil.
It's because she looks pale.
Maybe.
And also because she essentially just said, I wasted too much of my time, and this will upset me. See the way that the stream just died? And that's this because of you.
What just died?
The stream. It just went off.
What are you talking about? What do you mean?
The stream just went off.
I don't understand what you mean.
Your stream. The sharing video thing.
It's still up for me.
Okay, well, it just died, and it's next to me.
It's right there. I can
yes,
still see
and then it just
Discord.
went off. I didn't press anything.
Okay, I don't understand. Let me. You
I
really
blame
can't see it.
you.
You can't see it.
I can see it now because I clicked on it again. But watch the chat. Like, ask the chat. It just went dead for a second, and then now I have to click it back on again.
I don't know. I don't know why. But
okay.
I have no idea why that is. I'll tell you what. In a second here, let me restart my.
That's fine now.
Browser. Okay. Well, let's play it then.
That's fine. I will be happy as long as something happens.
You know, Emily, the political environment has become more dangerous.
It's weird how happy she looks.
She looks like a child who's has a camera in front of her and she's like giddy like a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Like, this is not how normal adults behave. Like, this is a very serious situation. You're dealing with a former president of the United States, and she's just like, I just want something to happen because I spend way too many hours of my life, and this is like kind of gay. Like, that's essentially her attitude.
Yeah, here's another clip.
Did you personally want to hear from the former president?
I wanted to hear from the former president, but honestly, I kind of wanted to subpoena the former president because I got to swear everybody in. And so I thought it'd be really cool to get 60 seconds with President Trump of me looking at him and being like, do you solemnly swear? And me getting to swear him in. I kind of just thought that would be an awesome moment.
Totally self-serving.
Yeah, so it is all self-serving. It's all about attention. It's all about her. She wants to be in a position
It'd be
of
really
power.
cool if I could do this. Like,
It'd be really cool. This is
legal
like a
precedent be damned.
serious legal issue, allegedly. I mean, I don't think it actually is in functionality.
No, of course
but or practicality. But allegedly, it's supposed to be a serious legal issue, and to you, it's just a big chance for you to get to be the center of attention.
Yes, I mean,
I can see how trying to get the former president to come talk to us would have been a year in negotiation by itself.
So it sounds like that was ultimately a battle that you all decided not to wage.
Exactly. That's kind of how it ended up. Was that, and I'd be fascinated by what he said, but do you think he would have come in and said anything groundbreaking, or just the same kind of thing we've heard? So at some point, you don't need to hear 50 people say the same thing. You know what I mean? At some point, you kind of start to get the gist.
Alright, I'm gonna tell you what I think. From a psychological perspective. I don't know this woman. What I'm about to say is not a diagnosis. Is in no way a diagnosis. I don't know her. I'm
But she's
judging this
crazy.
based off of like 3 clips of her that I've seen, 2 of which you guys have also seen now. I think she probably has histrionic personality disorder.
What does that mean in English?
I'm going to explain to you, to meet the criteria for histrionic personality disorder, one must meet 5 of the following criteria, at least 5 following criteria. Compulsion to be the center of attention that results in discomfort if unmet.
Okay, that's called being a woman. Next.
Okay, just as let you know, histrionic personality disorder is a disorder that appears almost exclusively in women. There you go.
I didn't even have to be funny. That's just true.
It's true. Inappropriate sexual, seductive, or provocative behaviors when interacting with others. She's not overtly sexual in this, but she's some of her body language it's not overtly sexual because she's talking to other women in both of these situations.
It does scream like pick me.
It's very pick me-ish. I can see, but body language, she's being very flowy and fluid. In other situations that would probably come off as sexual or seductive, particularly if she was speaking with a man. I'd like to see her talking to a man because I bet you're going to see that.
Oh my god, that's why she wanted to talk to President Trump. She's got a crush on him.
Yeah, shallow and rapidly shifting emotion. Watch this. Just watch this
Definitely
again.
millennial.
Shallow and rapidly shifting emotion.
Nothing happens. Like that's about my only request there is for something to happen. I don't necessarily know what it is. I'm not the legal expert. I'm not the judge. I'm not the lawyers, but
I think
I will be frustrated if nothing happens.
So like you can see though we already watched it. Like look, like, all of a sudden very happy, but these emotions are clearly not genuine, or they seem bizarre to outsiders watching it. They don't seem to be. Yes, Amber Heard did have that. Amber Heard was diagnosed with histrionic and borderline personality disorder as comorbidities. Did the screen go black for you again?
Yeah.
I don't know why it's doing that. It's my Brave browser. Give me a second after we get. Actually, I think we're done watching this stuff. So give me a moment. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen.
Okay.
And I'm gonna restart my Brave browser. Give me 1 second because it seems to be. A problem.
And while Aiden is doing that, I'm going to talk in a funny kind of accent for the next about 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm. About the Knicks. Hey, yo, fuck the Knicks.
No, next, not Knicks.
Oh.
Knicks 30 seconds. I don't even know what the hell that even means.
The New York Knicks.
Yes, I'm aware of the sports team. But it's not a sport I watch because it's not rugby. Therefore, it's not based.
So a couple more things I'm gonna keep going through the diagnostic.
Is it New York Knicks basketball team?
The criteria for, again, this is not a diagnosis. This is not this is not psychological advice. This is not a clinical diagnosis. This is just like you thought drugs are a very real possibility. Anywho, going back through it, shallow, rapidly shifting emotion. Uses physical appearance to draw the attention of others. I don't know. That one's hard to.
Yeah,
again, we've had 2 minutes to know. Oh, because I can pull her back up, I guess.
And you want me to take it off? Oh, just go out of the background.
No, hang on, I'll.
We're being very professional today.
Come my notes.
Eh.
Well, I don't know why this is happening with the,
Are you sharing the screen right now?
No.
I was gonna say, I was confused.
What's going on? Hang on. Really weird is happening with my notes. Oh, there they are. Just got mixed up. Okay.
It's called Friday Blues.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit discombobulated.
Are you drinking?
No, not yet.
Would you like to?
Soon. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I feel like if I met you, you would compel me to drink.
Dude, yeah, whenever we hang out, which is at some point, we gotta go get fucked up. Anyway,
You do realize I don't drink to get drunk, right?
I know you don't. I do. I don't see the purpose of doing it any other way.
Oh, because some of us like the taste of alcohol.
I also like the taste of alcohol, so I make delicious drinks and then I get drunk on them. Best of both worlds, my dude.
But I don't like being drunk.
I don't like being wasted. It's not, kind of.
You like to get sloshed.
A little bit.
Yes, whereas I don't.
It removes my social anxiety. Okay, so do you see my...
By numbing you?
Yeah, because I have anxiety.
Okay. I don't really do that.
It's not a good coping mechanism.
I agree. Okay, for once you and I...
Is it working now for you?
Yeah, it is.
Let me share my screen? Okay, cool. Let's hope it works this time. Anyway, let me get back through the...
Boomer tech.
the diagnosis. So, here's what I found interesting, though. Dramatic, impressionistic speech that lacks detail.
Oh, crap. Hold on a sec.
Huh? Dramatic.
Personally, want to hear from the former president. I wanted to hear from the former president, but honestly, I kind of wanted to subpoena the former president because I got to swear everybody in. And so I thought it'd be really cool to get 60 seconds with President Trump.
Dramatic and impressionistic speech. Also, exaggerated theatrical emotional expression.
Of me looking at him and being like, do you solemnly swear? And me getting to swear him in, I just...
Literally theatrical. Easily influenced by others or situations. Wants to meet Trump. Seems to be very easily... Again, I'm judging this from 2 minutes. And assumes relationships are more intimate than they really are. I don't know, what are we looking at here?
Looking at him and being like, do you solemnly swear? And me getting to swear him in, I kind of just thought that would be an awesome moment. I can see how trying to get...
Anywho, I'm making a diagnosis. It happened again. Switching to disc.
So like sands through the hourglass.
Those
are the days of our lives.
It keeps switching to Discord. That doesn't make any sense. Hang on a minute. Why is it switching to Discord?
Drinks that taste the complex flavor of hard liquor. Like, yeah, that is me.
Yeah, I know
that
the screen display's messed up. I have no idea why. If there's an update to Discord or something, making it messed up. So,
what
like,
now?
okay, look, okay, Spoon, when I click away, so if I click onto my, because I have multiple windows open, so you can see it right now, right?
No.
You can't see it right now.
I mean, like, can I actually see the stream or, like, click on it?
Can you see my screen that I'm sharing?
Yeah, I can see it now.
Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know what's going on, guys. Sorry. I have no idea. Hopefully it'll fix itself out. Or I don't know. I have no idea why that was happening. Hopefully it's better now, though. Oh, well. So I'm not diagnosing her with anything. I think that it's weird, though. Her behaviors are very bizarre, and they confuse me.
Someone said they would like it if I was doing the screen change just to troll.
If you were to troll me, yeah, like just to gaslight me, that would be kind of funny. But it'd also drive me insane.
That's why it would be funny.
Yeah.
But no, I was not doing.
So
my co-host pisses me off, but not that much.
Aw. Also in the Biden-osphere,
oh god.
Sam Brinton. Sam Brinton, who is the head of nuclear energy, I believe, right? Specifically,
something
like that.
Egghead.
Yeah. What exactly is he in charge of?
Well, he's not now. He's fired.
Yeah, I know.
He was in charge of something nuclear.
Right. Yeah, but something involved with nuclear energy. He was former deputy of energy. Okay. It was specifically nuclear energy, but whatever. Yeah, he got fired because he couldn't stop stealing women's luggage, and more information has come out that he steals women's luggage. So,
he's a klepto. Wow. No wonder he was working for government.
He's an autogynephile.
Which
I mean,
means
this is the whole thing that they propped this dude up and said, "Oh, so brave, the first non-binary, transgender non-binary person."
insert irrelevant
in
titles that
government.
have fuck all to do with
Right,
any measure of competence.
So this woman says on Twitter, "My name is Asha Kazmin, Tanzanian fashion designer based in Houston, Texas.
That
I
thing
lost
is an
my
actual
bag."
demon.
But here she is, Asha Kazmin.
She's a woman of color too.
You can see her from Tanzania, and then does this dress starting to look a little bit familiar to you?
A little bit.
She's a fashion designer. This is a one-of-a-kind dress. Recently heard the news on Fox News about Sam Brinton luggage issue. Surprised she just now heard about it. But better late than never. I found his images wore my custom-made outfits, which was lost in the bag in 2018. She lost a bag specifically in a DC airport.
So that thing's been sitting in for at least 4 years.
Yeah. I'm not sure if this one has the our bag.
Our bag.
I'm not sure if this post has the other examples of. It might be on our Instagram where.
Can we just be honest? Can we just be
There's a
honest
couple
about?
examples. It's not just this one outfit.
Can we just be honest about what we're seeing here? We're seeing a white man steal from a woman of color, and no one thinks it's weird.
This was another one. This is another one of the dresses, or this very specific fabric is another one that he stole. That's shown up in the.
It's very culty looking.
Yeah.
And everyone's wearing like
memes,
this.
I do love the memes, but yeah, there's been a couple where I thought the other one was in this thread, where maybe not, but there's at least 2 outfits now. It looks like that he's directly. I mean, it looks very similar. Seems to be the same fabric. Here it is. Here's the other dress. Or outfit. The fabric that was in her pictures, there it is. It appears to be the exact same fabric. Is it a coincidence? I mean, I don't know. Maybe. But it also, yeah, here's another one.
Just out of curiosity, if you took this person, this creature, and you put them back in the 1950s, where do you think they would end up?
We all know.
I was thinking a hospital.
Oh, that's honestly where he belongs, I would say. Like he's clearly mentally ill.
That's not what I meant.
Well, yeah, someone's gonna beat him up for doing this kind of
There we go. That's
but
what I meant.
he's clearly mentally ill, and the other thing is that
Base for
this
saying
guy,
well done.
it is. I think he's non-binary. He goes by the name Sam Brinton. I mean that's his name. He hasn't changed his pronoun. He's non-binary. He's a guy who likes wearing dresses. Because it's a sexual perversion for him, clearly. The theft element is part of his perversion. He gets off on stealing clothes from women and then wearing them, and particularly it seems wearing them in public as public as he can possibly be, wearing stolen stuff. Right? It's part of his fetish.
An early grave. Yeah, that was gonna be the other one.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a fetish for him, in my opinion.
Of course it is.
I think you can still. That's what I thought he went by. I'm not trying to actually misgender. I'm going to do some misgendering later, but I'm not misgendering yet.
You see now, this is the reason why if I'm going to keep doing YouTube, I want to be on Rumble, because I would like to say something about this person, and there's no way in hell I'd like to say what I'd like to say on YouTube. It involves copious use of the F word.
Well, so I'll just get to in terms of the misgendering thing now. I only just found out about this like about an hour ago, which was that I don't have any articles for this or anything. There's nothing up on the screen. I can probably find something here real quickly about it. But oh yeah, I can go. I'll find this really quickly. Actually, I don't want to have this on like a regular search history.
What are we finding?
The other day, Keffals, who we've talked about before, right? The transgender.
It's so close to a racial slur in Afrikaans. Every time you say that phrase.
Is it really?
Yes, the K-A.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I don't know.
One. You don't know the.
Oh my gosh, there's a Know Your Meme page about it. Wow, that makes it easy for me. I didn't know about this.
Aiden, this word.
Oh, I know what you mean. Okay, right.
That one.
Yeah. So Keffals, the transgender Twitch streamer who got Destiny deplatformed from Twitch and from Twitter, who raised over $100,000 to sue kiwi farms, didn't do it, and then went on a European vacation. Came out the other day and said that she was gonna take some time off to go into rehab because she has a serious drug addiction. Now, when I saw that on Twitter, a lot of people were really dunky. And I was like, I get it. I particularly get it that you're probably about to be in a whole hell of a lot of legal trouble, because it sure sounds like you spent that money, that $100,000 that you raised to sue kiwi farms, on drugs, right?
You know, we should really
And on
try that, by
vacation.
the way.
What?
In the chat. You know what?
Drugs?
You know Salty, yes?
Yeah, of course. Salty
Yes.
Cracker?
Yes. What he
course.
does is he does like an hour and a bit of his stream on YouTube, and then he channels everyone to Rumble, and then he just like
That's what
unloads
Ricada
on
does it
Rumble.
as well.
Yes.
Yeah, Ricada does it as
Yeah.
well.
Can we do that for 1 or 2 streams?
We can see how it works out. Yeah, we have to. I do have an Odyssey account. We don't have an account for this for the podcast.
Yes,
I'd have to make it.
Yes, I would like to do that, because I would very much like to be on a stream where I don't have to say anything. I don't have to hold anything back. I can say the F word. I can say the N word. I can insult a certain small hat of people. I can do whatever the hell I damn well please. That would make me very, very happy.
Yeah, we can try it out. I don't really like to insult people or hurt people's feelings.
That's because you're kind of cringe.
Thanks. But so
We
when
need
I
a
saw
yin and
that,
yang. You're yin, I'm yang.
when I saw the other day that Keffals was saying
really
that
sweet.
she was going to go into rehab and try to get her shit fixed, I was like, well, I truly do hope that you become a better person. I said, it doesn't absolve you of the things that you've done. It doesn't make it better. And I hope you go to rehab, you come back clean and become a better person, and apologize for the stuff that you've done, for getting people deplatformed, for being a horrible bully and banging up on people on the internet. Right? And Gary Thomas 5 says, all I have to say about these last 2 individuals is that there's some powerful effortry at foot here. Yeah.
Hagios, yeah. I quite like saying that phrase, actually. That's actually a fun phrase to say.
Yeah. I'm using the word she here for a reason, because I was like, well, that's nobody actually asks to become an addict, okay? Like, people don't ask to become addicted to stuff. And addiction is awful. I can say this as an alcoholic who has really struggled with it, right? Like, it sucks. It sucks in many ways to be addicted to something, and to feel like you have to consume a substance to feel normal. And it can also cause you to be it can also cause you to act like a really horrible, like, weird person. No, but like, can make you be mean to people. And so when I saw that on Twitter, I made a really heartfelt response, and I don't remember what I said exactly, but it was something to the tone of like, hey, I really hope you get better, and I hope you become a better person. It doesn't absolve you of what you did at all, but I hope you get better.
Someone said stop respecting the thing's pronouns.
Son of Tiamat, the matter for 3 months to stop respecting these things pronouns. I'm about to.
I like the way that you referred as thing. Like, very based.
Listen. I respect Blair White's pronouns. I respect Dev's friend Lilith's pronouns. Anybody who is like, you don't even have to be polite. Just don't be like a complete scumbag. Just to me, just in general. Because the pronoun thing, by the way, like, one, if you pass, and I mean you truly pass, it becomes difficult even for me to, keep it straight, or the opposite of straight, I suppose. I don't know. But also, if you're a decent human being, then yeah, I'll show you a modicum of respect, of course. But when you're a scumbag, no. When you don't respect anybody else, if you treat everyone else around you like crap, and you have no respect for other people, why should I have respect for you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm.
So here's what
I'm more on board on the Matt Walsh train, which is that say blunt and truth.
Here's what I didn't know, is that right before this on February 19th, So right before Keffals came out and says, I need to get my addictions checked, right? This person, or somebody called Mommy Big Dick on Twitter, posted screenshots in which
Say the name
reportedly,
again.
Mommy Big Dick.
That amuses me.
Posted screenshots in which Keffals purportedly used an alt account to reveal the supposed lore that she had on Mommy Big Dick. So, I think that's the picture. Yeah.
Are we in
No,
Twilight Zone?
no. So, here's the tweet, right? Let me pull the tweet up. It's still up there. Okay, this is still here. Ooh, it's archived and taken. No, it's not. Really honest, I'm sure that's why she hates you, is just the suspended account. Oh, Mommy Big Dick got suspended, so, okay, the account's gone. What she said was, or he said, I don't know who Mommy Big Dick is, says, she's at it again. Keffals posted the tweet on the far left on her alt, replied from her main, realized she forgot to change accounts, deleted the original tweet. She's collecting lore that isn't even true in order to paint me as a predator. Ladies and gentlemen, Kyiv farms too. But here's the thing. It's actually accurate. I don't know anything about this Mommy Big Dick person, okay? I don't know anything about them. It seems to just be a rando on Twitter, okay? Keffals goes to his Reddit, and see, now I'm changing it because you've been a real piece of shit. Goes to Reddit and says, hello, lore masters. I'm currently in a little spat with a Twitter user named Mommy Big Dick. She seems like a prototypical lol cow. I'm wondering how much info we can get on here. Please post everything you got in this thread. I know there's some turbo autists here who can help me get more information. Keffal. So Keffals, who tried to get Kyiv farms taken down for being a doxing website, went and asked for somebody's docs over a Twitter feud. And used, like 4chan, I would say /Kyiv farms language, like lolcow. Really interesting, huh? What subreddit is this, Abigail? It's Keffals' subreddit. Now, this particular post apparently was removed by Reddit's legal team because it's a doxing request. It's a request for, let's be honest, harassment. Okay? Even his own fans turn on him. I don't remember any shit. I need support, says Keffals. People saying, this is embarrassing. Keffals, big fan of the lore arc and most of your work. Think this is the wrong direction. I think you should temporarily focus on your own piece. You're unironically recreating Kyiv farms in your own subreddit. Guess you just wanted to shut it down so you could get rid of your competition. Good point. Good point.
Ouch. Nice
That's
shot.
someone. I mean, that's true, though, isn't it?
It's also a
Is
fan.
that it? Yeah, from a fan. You wanted to get Kyiv farms taken down so that you could just make your own Kyiv farms on Reddit? Not how that's gonna work. All right. Yeah, Keffals didn't hate Kyiv farms. He just wanted to control it. Abigail, I think you're completely correct. He just wanted to control it so that you couldn't make fun of him. You couldn't talk about him, but you could dox anybody he doesn't like. I mean, this is just like, that's what's going on with the Keffals thing. I just wanted to bring it up real quick because it was somewhat related to the Sam Brinton thing as the transgender stuff. And it makes me it made me feel like a moron. It made me feel like, I got taken for a damn ride because I said, I was like, I hope you're okay and I hope you get better. Turned out the whole thing was just another op. It was all fake. It's because they were getting canceled by their own community for saying this stuff, for trying to dox somebody after trying to get Kyiv farms taken. Of course. Let's move into John Fetterman having another stroke.
Another one?
Yeah. So this is his second or third stroke, I think? Second stroke. This is from... that's not right. No. There was another one. I thought there was another time. I thought he had another stroke just the other day. This is an old article. This was not the right article.
Yeah, that's why I was confused. Like, how many is that now?
Oh, no. This is the stroke. Sorry, this was the article, but he had the stroke last year. Now he's in a mental hospital. That's what I wanted to... He didn't have another stroke. I just got confused. Because there was the article about him checking himself into a mental hospital because Fetterman has been completely absent basically his entire career. Good job, Pennsylvania. You elected a guy who had two strokes or a stroke, and right now, this is not the article I was looking for.
Did you see what
into mental hospital?
Razor
so this is older information. What do you say about that?
Razor says someone from this chat actually linked me and just said they actually tagged both you and me in it, and just said they said that because Razorfist basically said that Pennsylvania is full of retards. They shouldn't be allowed to vote, and they should have barons and counts do the elections for them because they're clearly too stupid to make a choice.
This is not my tweet that I was looking for. What the heck?
Razorfist.
What happened to my freaking tweet I was trying? This is not the tweet I was looking for. Oh no, this is it. Sorry.
This is not the tweet you're looking for.
No, it is. I just got confused by it. So, okay, we're gonna watch all this, obviously, but there's been, because obviously this is happening. This is new January 6th footage. I don't know how much of it I can show, but there's a time lapse here, and one of the things that you can see in this time lapse of January 6th is that the cops throw tear gas into other cops. I'm not sure exactly where it happens in this, but you can see, at least it says is that cops shooting tear gas into police lines and retreats their positions for air 1 minute before the crowd breaches. It's a lie. So let's watch this. Because I haven't seen this yet, actually. All right. That's the tear gas. Did you see where it happened?
On the left-hand side.
Right. Yeah, on the left-hand side. You can see the police line. There's a police blockade. All these, people in black here in the front of the crowd. Oh, they did. They tear gassed themselves, and then it broke. Oh,
yeah, they're on the right-hand side, yeah.
Right, here on the right-hand side. Wow, there it is. They tear gassed themselves. And then looks like there's another one maybe there.
On
they
the
did throw one
left-hand
into
side,
the crowd.
left there, yeah.
On the left-hand side, they threw it into the crowd, but they also probably caught themselves on the left and right-hand. So they gassed themselves twice. Once on the right-hand side and then again on the left, and that's what broke the police line.
No,
Man,
I can't.
The absolute state of incompetence.
Yeah, I'm confused about that myself, because on the one hand you see on the right-hand side there, which means the cops were stupid enough to gas themselves, what geniuses, and on the left they throw it further in, which makes them scatter forward towards the cops.
Right. Yeah. When they throw they throw it just right there, so it's like makes people run.
Bear in mind, people, this is the people that the left want to defund because they clearly have too much funds.
And you can see that people are probably running away from the tear gas.
Yeah, running forward.
Yeah, they're trying to get away from it. So they gassed themselves, and then they threw it in right here, so close to the people that they ended up also gassing themselves, and everyone's running away from the tear gas on the left-hand side.
Well done.
Remember, this is worse than 9/11. This was a terroristic action.
You calling the police terrorists?
What I do? You know what I don't think is terroristic action. What I do think is another major screw up of the government.
It's stochastic terrorism.
Of course.
That's what we keep hearing.
Well, this is old now, but again, these are older things, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen this. But when we streamed last week, this video had not come out. This video came out the day after we streamed last week, or the day that we did stream last week. So that I originally talked about J.D. Vance's letter. It was before J.D. Vance had shown up in East Palestine. Just to reiterate, I'm sure pretty much everyone here knows the situation that's going on in East Palestine, Ohio, which is that train derailment.
Boom, boom.
Yeah, train derailment. In order to make it not go boom boom, the federal government rocked up and set it on fire. It supposedly controlled burn, but of course,
and they burned their credibility in the process.
Yeah. Now, so when I said that I didn't like J.D. Vance's response, which is all that was out when we streamed last week. I once again I feel like a rube, because the next day this gets released where Vance went out to East Palestine and actually looked at the river. And so I'm going to zoom in a little bit here to make this a little bit bigger. I'm sure a lot of people have seen this. I mean, how many millions of views have, I wonder? 4.6 million views. Good. Go, it should have more. Let's add to that if any of you have not seen this. So this is just him in East Palestine. Now remember, again, I think this was basically at the point where the government said it was fine to go back home. Fine to go back home. There's nothing wrong with the water. There's nothing wrong with that could possibly harm you in East Palestine. You're fine. It's fine.
Hey guys, so I'm here at Leslie Run, and there are dead worms and dead fish all throughout this water. So, something I just discovered is that if you scrape the creek bed, it's like chemical is coming out of the ground. We're going to see the Rainbow River. Can you show people here? and let me just show this to people. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this on camera, but watch this.
And I would like to
see
say
that chemical pop out.
that this is not like a trick. This is not a thing. A lot of people are finding very similar things all over the area and posting it, and they have been in the week interim. All the water all over the place in the area looks just like this. Yeah, Bill Gates, of course, said it's fine to drink the water because he's not going to drink it.
Out of the creek. This is disgusting. And the fact that we have not cleaned up the train crash, the fact that these chemicals are still seeping in the ground is an insult to the people who live in East Palestine. Do not forget these people. We got to keep applying pressure. That's how we're going to fix this problem.
Yeah, and so when I had some mild criticism because I didn't like JD Vance's reaction, because generally speaking, I have liked JD Vance. So I wanted to retract my bit of criticism, because then the next day after I was like, I didn't really like his response. He immediately came out with this, so made me again look like a fool. But it's just, I mean, I couldn't have predicted the future. Well, I couldn't have predicted the future that he was going to do this, and very based. One of actually the first people on the scene, as we're about to get into regarding Palestine disaster.
Yeah, because I know Mr. Buttplug was there for like all of 5 minutes.
Well, we're getting into that. Speaking of Mr. Buttplug, here's a. I asked this. So this woman works for the Daily Caller. She asked Buttplug. She asked Secretary Buttplug.
Yeah, that clip's gone viral.
Yeah, it has. This one also has views. About if he was going to do anything, what his reaction was to what was going on in East Palestine. Here was his reaction.
Secretary, what do you have to say? Hi, how are you? Good. Jenny Chair at the Daily Caller News Foundation. What do you have to say to the folks in Ohio, East Palestine, who are suffering right now?
Well, I'd refer you to about a dozen interviews I've given today, and if you'd like to arrange a conversation, be sure to reach out to our press office.
In other words, he won't speak if he doesn't have a script. Of course.
Because he's a moron.
Yeah. Now, I looked into this a little bit more, but he has taken huge amounts of time off. He took the parental leave for when he and his husband adopted a child, but it seems that he takes leave a lot. He's taken a lot of time off, personal leave. I'm shocked.
Yeah,
that
it's not like he has a job to do.
He needs to do it quite often, so lights.
I'd like to have that conversation with you. Just
you don't have a message for them?
I do, and I shared it with the press many times today.
Well, why can't you say it now?
Say it to the freaking people, you jackass. Your
She's
job
a
is to
Daily
deal with the
Caller
people,
reporter.
not the press.
Yeah, she's a Daily Caller reporter. All you have to say is, my heart goes out to them. Oh,
Couldn't even do that.
But look, eat butt plug. It's not that hard. Say, hey, I'm out. I'm private right now.
It's not that hard. Probably not the first time he said that.
It looks like with his husband or whatever. It's just say, hey, I'm out in private right now. But of course, my heart goes, my thoughts and prayers. My heart goes out to the people. Yeah, my heart goes out to the people of East Palestine. That's all you have to say. And say, I've given a bunch of interviews about it today. But then lie. You're a politician. That's
He's
like
powered
your
by
main
asshole.
job.
In his case,
Like,
probably literally.
Your main job as a politician is to lie. That's what they do all the time.
Yeah.
You can't even lie.
Refer you to those comments.
Would you mind sharing it with us?
No, I'm going to refer you to the comments that I made to the press, because right now I'm taking.
You're talking to the press, you stupid imbecile.
Yep. You're taking some personal time, right? Because he's always taking personal. But then just say, again, it is just throw a very basic my thoughts and prayers. Or don't say prayers if you don't like that because you're an atheist, probably. I don't know. I mean, mostly or Moloch worshiper, whatever. I don't know. send a prayer to Moloch for him. Actually, don't do that. Don't do that, please.
He sounds really pretentious, doesn't he?
Yeah, he sounds like a douche. That's what he sounds like. He sounds like a dick.
Are you going down there?
What's that?
Are you going down there at all?
Yeah, I am.
That did not sound sincere. Yep.
Yeah. I am. When?
Yep,
when I get time.
Well, I'll tell you when. When it's politically expedient is when.
Yes.
Yeah. Personal time. What's he got postpartum? Yeah, he basically. Oh, it's not as bad as what was that one thing that happened the other day? Where did you see this? It was a picture.
That's good.
Josh covered it on his stream. I just got done watching that, so it's fresh in my memory. Where there was a picture, it went viral of two gay guys who adopted. They had a surrogate. Mix their contributions up into a cup, I guess, and then did IVF. And
I didn't need to know that.
And then I'll see if I can find the picture, because you have to see this picture. Couple.
Gross.
Sure. Well, it's been going viral, like, because it's been going viral because, yeah, here it is.
I don't want to ever hear you use the phrase "it's been going viral" when discussing the shenanigans of a gay man. That just sounds really shady.
That's not it. Ooh, that's not it. That was not the picture I thought. No, that's not it.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at.
I'm seeing a lot of pictures of gay
gayness.
couples, but, okay, I don't know how to describe it, but
Slowly.
wait. Okay, I'll just describe it since I don't have the picture, because I wasn't preparing to talk about this. But it's a picture of it's a baby that they either adopted or they used a surrogate for. I'm not exactly sure. But one of the men is in a hospital bed, lying down.
Oh, yes, I know the picture you're talking about. Yes.
So it looks like he just gave birth. It's like,
why? One of the top comments is, "Why are you in a hospital bed?"
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, it went super viral on Twitter. I know that the word is awful. I agree that it's a terrible word, but it is.
It's not a bad word. It's like it sounds really shady when you're talking about, the F words.
What? Yeah, I know. I wouldn't know even what to look up. You saw me in the Maddie chat. Abigail, yeah. I don't know what to look up for with that though. But yeah, it was really it was very creepy and cringe. But it was just it was clearly a LARP. I mean, why do you have to lay down in a hospital bed like you took the baby out? You didn't. You hired some lady to do it.
When are you going?
I'll share that when I'm ready.
Yeah, you'll share that when it's politically expedient, won't you, butt plug? So.
You know what that means? That means I don't know.
Yeah, it means that when it's politically expedient. So, we did report on this the other week, but FEMA has reversed course. Originally, FEMA said that they were not going to be sending any support to East Palestine because they said it wasn't within. They didn't have. Basically, said that they didn't know what they could do about it. It wasn't their jurisdiction. Just hours after saying he did not expect members of the of FEMA to be in East Palestine, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine now confirms the government entity will, in fact, be sending a crew to assist with the aftermath of the train derailment in the village. When was this actually published? Exactly. February 17th. So again, this is stuff from the last week.
It was a week ago.
This is why I use that thread reader, because otherwise it gets so bad. In a joint statement released on Friday night, DeWine and FEMA Regional Administrator Thomas Sivak said that the agency would deploy a Regional Incident Manager Assistance Team, IMAT, to Columbiana County starting Saturday with a senior response official. Workers will, quote, support ongoing operations, including incident coordination and ongoing assessments of potential long-term recovery needs. The Biden administration, wow, they actually call it the Biden-Harris administration. Have you ever heard that before? Did anyone ever call it the Trump-Pence administration? Did they ever call it the Obama-Biden administration?
Outside of an election, no.
No. I mean, the Biden-Harris administration has mobilized a robust multi-agency effort to support the people of East Palestine, the White House said in a statement of its own earlier this afternoon. But earlier you said that FEMA couldn't do anything. As President Biden told Ohio Governor Mark DeWine and Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro soon after the derailment, the federal government stands ready to provide any federal assistance that the state needs. But originally, here it is, the governor's request for FEMA assistance was initially denied, with the agency apparently telling his office that the current situation did not qualify. This is a local newspaper, WKYC. Check you made a mistake there. Did not qualify for assistance. So cute, right? Although FEMA is synonymous with disaster support, they're most typically involved with disasters where there is tremendous home or property damage, DeWine told reporters in Friday's press conference, adding this would include situations like tornadoes, flooding, and hurricanes. Oh man, my West Virginia came out there a little bit. I'm talking about Ohio, so my West Virginia accent town in West Virginia called Hurricane. It's not pronounced hurricane, it's hurricane. It is unknown what changed in the time since those remarks, but the governor did confirm he would preemptively file a document with FEMA to preserve our rights in case we need assistance in the future. DeWine has not declared the crash aftermath to be a federal disaster, perhaps because of the concerns that could shield Norfolk Southern Railway from liability. Let's say, for example, the railroad stops paying for whatever reason, DeWine said on Friday, filing the paper. We're still going after the railroad. We want to make sure that there will be support for people if that support does, in fact, stop from the railroad. So basically, the EPA said they weren't going to help. People said that's BS. And, well, what do you know? Specifically, Biden said FEMA's not going to help. And then what do you know? Reverse. Some other weird stuff has been happening across the United States. Yeah, I know why. Well, we know. We know why. I'm going to get really into the big reason
Mr.
why.
Orange Man decided to show up and make them look like fucking morons.
To be fair, I looked up the date on this on purpose. It's February 17th. So this did happen before the Orange Man showed up, which we will be getting into. There's been some other weird stuff that's been going on around the U.S. Of course, before we covered the fact that there had been several train derailments, did also bring up at the time that there's about 1,000 train derailments every year in the United States. Another thing I want to be clear about is that there's an observation effect that can occur. Is that this kind of stuff probably does happen all the time, but because this has become national, international news. Jim Halis, you're from I miss being in Hurricane, West Virginia. Wow, it's a real small town. It's out near Charleston. Yeah, that's cool. It's more closer to Huntington. But yeah, that's cool.
Also,
So-
I learned something. I'll see if I can pull this up. I learned something about the regulations that they keep peddling.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, just give me a second. I just suppose this. Give me 2 seconds. I think this is on the.
While you're looking that up, just something I wanted to finish my thought on. Is an observation effect. Is that once you start looking at stuff, you start seeing it more. When you're looking for it, you see more of it, right? Things like this happen all the time. Doubt that, again, not to the same severity. Not whatsoever. There are about 1,000 train derailments that happen a year. But they're not the kind of train derailments that have happened in terms of severity that have happened most recently. But other weird stuff's been happening. So, no injuries or contamination reported after fire at uranium processing building. This is in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. And this was, let me check the date on this one.
Oh, here it is.
February 22nd. So this was just 2 days ago. February 23rd. What's up, Spin?
Okay, so you must know the whole thing about the deregulation that Trump did with regards to the brakes.
Yeah.
So that was the whole claim. Now, if you've been paying attention to the story, it wasn't the brakes; it was the freaking tracks that needed the fucking maintenance, not the train itself. But
I thought the train needed. It was actually the tracks themselves that needed.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes. Yeah, it says here. It is true that the Trump administration scrapped electronic braking regulations for trains carrying large amounts of hazardous liquids, but National Transportation Safety Board Chairwoman Jennifer Homendy, who was appointed by Biden and unanimously confirmed by the Senate, said the rule wouldn't have applied to the Norfolk Southern train that derailed in East Palestine on February the 3rd. Please stop spreading misinformation, she said. You know, when a Democrat says that really is telling. She said, some say the ECP, the electronically controlled pneumatic brake rule, if implemented, would have prevented this derailment. False. Here is why, Homendy wrote. The ECP braking rule would have applied only to high-hazard, flammable trains. The train that derailed in East Palestine was a mixed freight train carrying only 3 placarded Class 3 flammable liquid cars. So even if it was not repealed, they wouldn't have applied to that train in the first place, then nothing would have made a difference anyway.
Right. So if it's, as far as...
So Trump is not to blame at all.
But... as far as my understanding goes of railroads, which is based entirely on a board game made in 1970 called Rail Baron,
I
think that the railroad owns the actual track, don't they? Who owns the rail? Who owns the actual track? I'm not sure.
But as far as
they did in the 1800s when Rail Baron was based, but I don't know who owns rail lines in the United States. I don't know the answer to that question.
I find it funny because I watched a clip of the
Almost entirely privately owned and operated, which would mean that probably is a Norfolk Southern rail line. It might be. I don't know.
I find it funny because
it's privately owned. It's not owned by the U.S. government. I would highly doubt.
I watched a bit with it's subsidized by the government, so that tells you a lot.
Norfolk Southern.
Yeah. So with regards to the rail, I saw Joy Behar, the stupid bitch that she is. She said that this is Trump's fault. This is what the people from Ohio voted for, which is a great thing to say, by the way. Because I don't remember them. First of all, the deregulation has got nothing to do with this particular incident. So that your whole deregulation of Trump, that doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't apply to this. But secondly, I just found it funny because I just went, this is what you voted for, like really? And I just looked at people from Ohio in 2016, 2020. More people voted for Trump in 2020 than 2016. And did Trump have this problem in 2016? No. So clearly the reason they voted for him again is because he did a good job in Ohio, you stupid bitch. That doesn't even make any sense. And secondly, this is a bit that fucking drove me nuts. If you just look at look at the voting tallies. And I just thought, like, this is what people voted for. And you look at Biden. And Biden's in Ukraine. Yeah, while this is going on. That's what people didn't vote for. And then Trump shows up. And then everyone cheers for him, like, that's what they voted for. And the guy that they voted for and that won the state in the last election, he showed up.
Yeah, exactly. I also actually wanted to show everyone. I wanted to show everybody what Rail Bear.
Hey, look,
looks
it's
like,
me.
Look at this dude. Look at this dude.
He literally looks like my avatar. It's a cigar instead of a pipe, but yeah, it's like that's totally
I love his little face, though. I love his face. I love
the let me kill Mr. Facial hair that he has.
This game probably taught me a whole bunch about railroads, maybe, allegedly.
And also, everyone looks great in suits and top hats.
I love that dude. I've always loved his dumb little face. But I was thinking about it because the Norfolk Southern is not a. It's a very small railroad. It has some important. Oh God, he does look. Hasselhoff.
He does look like a fat.
You are not the first person because for years I have been saying that man looks like Carl Benjamin.
He does look a bit like Sargon, actually.
Sargon with mutton chops. Yeah,
I feel like if I met you and I wasn't dressed like this, it would be kind of sad.
Normally, you're just like wearing like a hoodie or whatever, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not wearing one now.
Every time, yeah, I know. What are you wearing?
I don't know why you said it the creepiest way ever.
Because there was no like uncreepy way to say it, so I had to ask it in a creepy way.
You could just you could have asked that.
A sweater.
You could have asked that in a formal way and not appeared so creepy.
No, it's funnier if I ask it that way.
If you just said, "What is your current attire?" I'm like, actually, just shorts and a long sleeve black shirt. But that is my current attire, actually. I almost exclusively wear black.
I am actually wearing some YouTuber merch. I'm wearing Petty University from.
That's YouTuber merch?
Petty University. Her name is Swoop. SWOOP. I really like her. She makes documentaries. Her content.
Someone say I'm wearing a turtleneck. No, I'm not wearing a turtleneck. I'm not Archer.
I really like Swoop University and her stuff. She makes documentaries like about true crime and
my grandfather
internet
was
stuff.
Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, so
Gary
I like
Thomas in the chat just say that.
Also, one thing I would say about this sweater, like I bought a whole bunch of YouTuber merch over the years. This is the best freaking, like the most comfortable, nicest quality merch I've ever bought from a YouTuber.
Khakis?
Khaki.
Oh, gosh. I am wearing shorts. So like most of the time, I'm wearing. It's pretty much. If it's in the summertime, I'm not wearing clothes for the most part. Like I wear shorts, and that's basically like 90% of the time, unless I go outside, and even that's questionable. I will not be wearing a shirt, like ever. Shirts in the summer are overrated.
You know, I mean, Bill. Like I said, the second Bill gets home from work, he takes off his clothes and just puts on a robe, which I think. I mean, it is a little bit, to be fair, McPoyle behavior, but understandable. He can hear me, so I don't know how mad he is.
I'm not stealing dresses. How dare you? I don't know what's more offensive, the fact that I'd be stealing or the fact that I'd wear dresses.
Bill, you don't just drink milk all the time, though. It's not pure McPoyle behavior.
Milk is based, though, if ridiculously overpriced right now.
Everything's overpriced right now.
Yeah, some things are okay.
I wonder why.
Because a bunch of morons are deciding to use the Ukrainians as cannon fodder to destroy the Russian industry.
Yeah, we're about to get into Ukraine stuff.
Everyone else suffer.
Yeah, let's get into that then, I think. Because we're going to go back and forth between some of the stuff that's happened in East Palestine and Ukraine.
Cringe
because
Gaylord.
weirdly they are related. So, yeah, so I had this. So there's a uranium fire.
I wear a napkin. I wear a loincloth. Get it right.
A fire at a uranium processing plant in Tennessee. That's weird. there's another. Come up in a second. A little slow today for some reason. I don't know why it's been so slow, but it is.
Where's the charm? I'm not even going to dignify that with a response.
Here's another fire at a manufacturing facility in Chicago Heights. This happened on February 6th, as wants to be pointed out here by Twitter, which I think the derailment happened on February 3rd. Let me double check that. I believe that the Ohio train derailment.
That almost doesn't look real, just because of the way the shadows.
It's weird, right? I mean, it's crazy. It's a manufacturing. Well, I mean, like, there's been crazy stuff that's been happening. There was all the chicken. Yeah, February 3rd, I was correct. Damn, why do I remember that? But all the chicken manufacturing facilities that, got blown up last year and fell apart.
Well,
there's
someone
weird stuff. This is
I can address the chat for a second.
After.
My current avatar doesn't wear a bow tie anymore. He wears he wears a tie with an S on it.
Oh, nice. I didn't notice that, actually.
Really?
I didn't notice that you changed it, no.
I changed it like over a month ago. So how much attention you pay.
I don't notice small details.
How do you not notice it? Like, it looks completely different.
Hey, everybody.
I didn't know you did it. That's probably why I didn't. So I don't know. I'm just pointing out some weird stuff that's happening across the country for your perusal.
This is Dahl Arnson with the Alaska Patriot Network. I am visiting California, and I am here with one of the local ranchers, and I was brought out to this field in Stanislaus County, California, and this is the center of like the heartland of the nut industry, the almond industry, the pecan, or not pecans, I'm sorry, almond, walnut, cattle. There's not a lot out here, folks. And yesterday we were at a gathering and we were alerted by another rancher that the railroad company, some company that nobody knows which company this is, has brought in hundreds of these railroad cars. And you can just see the line of them here. Let me see it, make sure I'm getting it in the shot. Sorry. Getting this in the shot. Now, on the cars, they say odorless liquid petroleum gas. Now, they are loaded. They're riding low on their axles. They're double and triple deep on the switchback. And this is important because these ranchers, this is unprecedented in this area. None of them, they're like, what the hell is this? Why are they bringing this into the, heart of nowhere? I mean, unless you own land here or you're in the know-how, you don't know that this is here right now. And like I said, this is just the end of this line. I'll make sure I'm getting these cars in here. And it goes on for...
I don't know what this means, by the way. Just thought it was interesting.
That means you're going to blow it up.
I don't know. Just weird, right?
Yeah, it means they're going to blow it up.
So, we saw earlier that Pete Buttplug was not... He's like, I'll let you know when I decide to visit Palestine. Well, guess who did first? Trump.
The Orange Man.
The Orange Man showed up.
Orange Man good.
Have you seen the I don't know if it's in the article.
The one who just buys McDonald's for everyone?
I'm going to play it because it's just so nice. I love it. I truly love... I'm still on the Trump train, less so than I was at one point. You know what I mean?
I brought her back on the Trump train. It's my job.
I know.
It's my job because you still sim for DeSantis, that Bush boy.
I like DeSantis.
I don't like because I don't trust him. He's associated with Paul Ryan and the Bushes, therefore he's a bad man.
Handed out his Trump water, speaks to the forgotten American in Palestine.
I don't see Ron DeSantis out there. I see Mr. Donald Trump right there.
Well, yeah, okay, fair. Actually, fair point. If DeSantis is going to run for president, fair point.
Yes. What's he
Anybody
doing in Florida? His state's run fine.
Anybody.
He doesn't need to do anything. Mr. Pete Buttplug is super taking it up the ass, so clearly go over there.
Anybody who wants to run for president.
So we have Mr. Trump.
Should have been out in Palestine.
It's a good man.
This is a serious disaster. So
I should do a whole video talking like that.
Yeah. It's not a bad accent.
Thank you. I don't really know where it's from. It's just fun to do.
Yeah. Said, you're not forgotten. We stand with you. We pray for you. And we will stand with you and your fight to help ensure the accountability that you deserve, Trump told the crowd of local leaders, first responders, and media gathered at the fire station in town. The community has shown the tough and resilient heart of America. And that's what it is. This is really America right here. You're standing in America. I mean, it is the heart. Like, it's heartland, this area of Ohio, it's heartland America. Trump donated thousands of gallons of cleaning supplies and more than a dozen pallets of his namesake Trump spring water. But of course he gave him Trump's or whatever. But he spent like millions of his own dollars, of his own money on this,
Yes.
He spent, I think there was an estimate. It's not in this Fox article.
A little less conversation, a little more action, please.
Let's see if I can find it. How much did he spend exactly? I mean, not that the money really matters, but he spent his own private money doing it,
My name is Reverend Father Uncle Ruckus.
Trump-
No relation.
Wait. Ooh, sorry about the noise. Why does it do that? I hate that noise. When I'm trying to control F something. But he's
Do not
clearly,
control F4.
Yeah, he's clearly spent a whole bunch of money, though. At least showed up and helping the people. And then I do want to play the McDonald's clip because it's.
You know what's going to annoy me is you're going to have people just like, oh, he just did this for political gain. Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas you people spending the taxpayers' money for your own gain is not in any way.
You know what?
Different.
You know what I don't give a shit about? Is this a political move? Absolutely. Is he helping people? Absolutely.
I don't give a
I
crap
don't
if it's a
care.
political move or not. Is
Then
it
I don't
helpful?
care.
Yes.
Yes. Are people being helped by this? Why can't anyone else do this? Why can't Biden, who's the president, freaking help? He's got access to all the freaking money in the country. He's the damn president. Why is he not helping? Trump's spending his own private money doing this. Is it political? Absolutely. Then why aren't other people helping out until after Trump went? Only once Trump showed up, all of a sudden, all the Democrats care. They got their head out of their butts and decided, oh, we do care about the people in East Palestine.
Yeah.
You didn't care about them because they were white and mostly probably Trump voters. You didn't care until Trump showed up.
How are you today? Nice to meet you.
And I love this woman's face. Like, you can't help but be that way around Trump, which is, we watched that crazy lady in the beginning. But it's just like Trump's got such like a exuberant persona, an infectious personality that you can't help but be. He's just gonna tell you whatever the hell he wants to do, and it's just you can't help but smile at it. I don't think.
Hello, everybody. That's a nice, beautiful-looking group of people. So I know this menu better than you do. I probably know it better than anybody in here.
Even when he's
Probably
boasting,
not
it's
wrong.
funny.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know. You know that Trump like loves McDonald's and eats McDonald's all the time because he's a hypochondriac and he doesn't like home cooked food or even food cooked at restaurants.
He's a massive
and the reason-
germaphobe.
Yes, because he is germaphobe and he likes the homogenization of McDonald's food.
Yeah,
he
'cause the
thinks that like
standardization.
it's all standardized, so it's less likely to have germs. It's not logical, right? I mean, it's germophobia.
I can understand his the logic behind his reasoning.
logic,
It's
yeah.
not solid, but I can understand
No.
why.
But that he does like McDonald's and fast food because it's all homogenized.
I'm amazed he's
standardized.
managed to eat it and lost like 15 pounds.
I know. Look at how happy everybody here is. I mean, like, just everybody seems overjoyed.
Yes,
they
that's
probably
because
are.
they all voted for him.
They voted for him, right? It's
Yeah.
people who can vote, I guess, like, yeah, you can work at McDonald's. And some of these people seem quite young.
We're going to take care of the fire department.
Okay.
We're going to take care of the police department. And what we do is all the people that are here right
I'm the
now.
owner, Mr. President.
So
How are you?
I don't have to give him.
That's right.
That's a good one to own, right?
Yes, it is. One of the best.
So we're going to take care of your fire police.
President Trump, what do you think of
He's a big fan.
Yes, come here, take a look.
Aw,
This is a guy I like. Very nice one. Oh,
see, like,
you know what we'll do?
where's Biden ever done anything like that? I'm not even talking like at a disaster. Just shown up. Where's his armed security? Where is he surrounded by armed guards? He's just there with regular people. I'm sure his guards are around him, right?
Yeah, Secret Service has got to be there.
Clear, obviously.
Yeah.
But he's just there hanging out with normal salt of the
He
earth
is a
people.
multi-billionaire, and he is in
Before
McDonald's
he
with
was
regular
president.
people. Yes.
Yeah, before
Like, that's
he was
just
president. He was-
insane.
and just acts like a normal dude.
Yes.
Like, when Biden would, I swear to God, Kamala Harris would be sickened if she had to be around these people. She'd wash her hands afterwards, you know?
Yes.
Like, Trump might too, but again, germaphobe. But it's more the germophobia thing, not the, you disgusting peasant.
Which is ironic because a few years ago, Kamala would have been referred as the help.
Oh.
Here.
More than a few years ago, but yeah.
I like that.
You know,
one,
Bill
but this
Clinton
one's
said that about
different.
Obama.
It's more expensive.
Oh,
can
I know,
tell you.
yeah.
This is triple the price of that one, right?
He's telling you about how much that tat's more expensive.
That's a billionaire right there.
That's the best. That's the best. Oh, look at those boxes of.
I love it. This makes me happy. Like, I don't care if this is political. Like, if I saw Joe Biden doing this, it would make me happy too. I mean, like, and he could have any kind of semblance of charisma, which of course he doesn't have. But
that's because he's an empty suit,
right,
and an empty head.
Mm-hmm. It would make me happy though if I could see somebody else actually like showing up and showing genuine care to average regular people and not treating us like peasants.
You expect me to believe that this guy lost and the other guy got 81 million votes? Like, really? Who believes that? Seriously?
I know.
Just like,
so,
no. Hey, I see cat turd.
From very reliable source here, cat turd.
Who managed to piss off? Who was the guy that she pissed off? The congressman.
Oh yeah, who got upset about the fact that
who
ratioed by cat turd or something?
Yeah, who was the?
I don't remember.
The chat.
Remember this happening?
Yeah,
Someone got really mad.
Yeah, it was Adam Kinzinger. Adam Kinzinger just threatened cat turd with a fight.
That was hilarious.
And then Tucker Carlson called out, like, you're a member of Congress and you're having a conversation and threatening somebody called cat turd on Twitter.
I know.
That you fucking.
Hasselhoff
I can't believe just said that.
I know. For 5 says, I think he's worried that a chef will mess with his food. Friends shared horror stories about what their coworkers did with food at Wendy's, though. Yeah, I think that's probably part of it. And so, like, he thinks he usually probably doesn't order the McDonald's food himself. I guarantee he probably didn't eat food he got there that night. Because, look, I wouldn't either. I'm sure Secret Service told him not to.
I don't think he gives a crap.
No, what I'm saying, like, if you send somebody else out to go get you food, like a regular person, he's like, they're not going to spit in a random person's food. I mean, they might, but I have seen, obviously, we've seen number 15 Burger
Clinton
King
is trending.
lettuce.
Oh, yeah.
Right into the Clintoning. So, okay, so the day after, the morning after, to be quite specific, that Trump showed up, gave away a huge amount of cleaning supplies and free water to people. Butt plug shows up. Remember, he was thinking about it, but the next morning is when he shows up.
At 7 a.m.
At 7 a.m., meaning that the second he heard that Trump showed up in East Palestine, he got his plane. He probably got on the plane and flew out to Ohio.
Did you hear he spoke about Trump?
In this? Did he?
Not in this one, but he says, I need your help. And he talks about the regulations. And it's like, dude, the regulations that you are talking about...
What can Trump do to help you?
Yeah, I don't know.
He's not president anymore, ding dong.
We're going to begin with the massive, toxic train disaster in
Speaking of Don Lemon, who we talked about yesterday.
Ohio. Right now, the Transportation Secretary, Pete Buttigieg, is on the scene right there. You see pictures of him.
Cute.
This is him at the scene of that wreck where the train...
Say it one more time, Don. Please make sure that we know that he's on the scene. 3 weeks after it happened. And curiously, 12 hours after Trump showed up. Trump, who is not a currently sitting politician, who showed up and donated supplies and goods to these people out of his own pocket.
Trump knows how to do politics way better than these people.
Oh, I know.
And it's not even hard.
Yep. It's not. It really, maybe try being, like, I don't know, not actively evil. That would help, but they can't do that one.
Loaded with dangerous chemicals, derailed and burst.
Wait a minute. I thought you said they weren't dangerous. So the whole thing was that they weren't dangerous. We just did a nice little controlled border. It wasn't dangerous at all. Don, this is why you're in trouble. You're not up on the narrative.
Into an inferno. The government's response has been facing growing criticism. The railroad CEO coming face to face with angry residents during a CNN town hall. They are going to begin.
So, how cute.
Don seems kind of upset.
So,
Little bit.
Biden, of course, has not visited. You know where he went instead?
He went to Ukraine to give
On
another
President's Day.
$500 million.
Yeah. It actually gets worse in terms of the money.
By the way, did you see there was a woman on Fox? She apparently was a former Soviet Union member, or she grew up in the Soviet Union, and she said she went to Mark Milley, and Mark Milley said, yeah, there's actually no road to victory in Ukraine.
What can it do?
I
I mean, it's like, look, Russia's not pushing anywhere. Like
I feel like Russia is holding back.
Russia's in the exact same position that they were basically this time last year. Okay, they haven't gained really any ground. A little bit, but it's not been a whole lot. But that's the entirety of the West and Japan, 5.5 billion from Japan, you see here, is propping up and funding Ukraine. No one is funding Russia. So it's the entire modern world, Western world, if you want to call it that, democratic world, funding one country versus Russia.
Yeah.
And it's a stalemate.
Mm-hmm.
So the entire world against Russia in terms of finances.
And why?
Although we're going to get into that, it doesn't seem like that Russia's necessarily going to be alone now on some of those.
And also, why do I have to say Russia again?
Well,
What has Russia ever done to me? Oh my God, Vladimir Putin wants to sell me cheap, reliable gas. Oh, what an asshole he is.
I know.
Oh my goodness, he invaded a neighboring country. Yes, because America, you have never fucking done that ever.
Well, we're going to get into that too. About some very interesting stuff that's come out.
And unlike Russia, America, you lie for your reasons for invasion.
Oh, Russia lies too. Come on now, don't get that shit twisted. Russian government lies constantly, my dude. Don't get that shit.
Who do you trust more, Putin or your current government?
Putin or Biden?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. I'd probably trust a smackhead above Biden, but that's just me.
That's what I'm saying. Like, who do you trust more, Putin or Biden?
Putin out of the two.
Exactly.
If you're gonna ask me out of the two, I also if you want me, I'll put them on a big list. I trust Putin before Zelenskyy, and I trust Zelenskyy before I trust Biden. There's my exact list. How I'd rank these people in terms of trust.
Okay. I'll put it this way, and this is a very script thing. Next to Trump, because he's not in power currently, which world leader do you trust more than Putin?
Besides Trump, you said?
Yes.
World leader. Anyway, the actual. Hang on.
Yeah, won't you say that? You're like, ooh, fuck.
Well, hang on. I'm not an expert in global politics, so I know a lot of foreign politicians. But if you're saying leader as in the head of a country,
okay, I'll give you 5 people: French President Macron, Richie Sunak in the UK, the German Chancellor Scholz, or Putin. Are those 4? Who do you trust more?
Okay, I don't know much about Scholz. I don't know almost anything about Scholz. Okay.
German, French, English, Russian.
Okay, so I don't know anything about Scholz. I'll be honest with that. I certainly do not trust Macron whatsoever. I don't trust Trudy either.
I don't trust anyone who fucks a turtle.
And I really don't trust Rishi Sunak. So I'm still gonna have to go Putin. The Italian president, the woman.
Oh yes.
There you go. I trust her over Putin. Yay, gotcha.
I trust Putin over her. I'll be honest, and the reason is because she is pro NATO, and her country is not pro NATO, which is rather unusual.
The new Russian president, she's pro NATO.
Italian president.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that though. I guess.
Yeah, she's very base, but
yeah, but we're gonna get into some of the NATO stuff. Oh wait, yeah, Bolsonaro.
Yeah, of course I trust Bolsonaro. Bolsonaro just said stop being the F word and arm people.
Maloney is her name.
Yeah, which is like
or as No Pants Baby said, melons.
Melons.
Her name is Maloney, but yeah, melons.
I do like how much ball she has.
Well, you got melons and balls then, I guess.
I've never looked at her tits, to be honest. I was too busy looking at her eyes. She's really intense stare.
I haven't looked at her tits either. I looked at her face. I didn't look at her tits. which is
I haven't looked at it. I went like, booba. That's not.
Right, you've got Melanzoni and Bolsonaro.
Bolsonaro.
Says Ardent Party. Thank you, Ardent. So Biden goes to Kyiv.
God, it sounds like the name of a freaking movie, doesn't it?
Are we supposed to say it's Kyiv now? Are we all just supposed to pronounce it that way? I thought it was just still pronounced Kyiv.
How about money laundering pit number 5,325?
Bill said call it what it is, Roos. Oof. That's spicy, Bill. Bill said that, not me.
I'm guessing Bill is pro Russia.
Oh, no, Bill just doesn't care. Biden and Kyiv pledges $5 million more in military aid. Japan commits $5.5 billion. Live Ukraine updates. Here we go. What do you? Rightful Byzantine clay. Is that what you said, Bill? All right. He just walked away. Biden made a surprise visit to Kiev. Japan announced a generous financial aid package, and People's Court put Russian President Vladimir Putin on trial for the crime of aggression Monday. Like he cares. As
Really?
the war with Ukraine approached a 1-year mark with no end in sight.
Can we put Obama on trial as well? Maybe Bush?
Yeah, I'd like to put Bush on trial for sure.
Yes.
We can't do that. Biden also announced an additional $500 million in weaponry. It's specifically in weaponry. It's not $500 million in aid. It's not $500 million in food and water and humanitarian services.
Not just that.
$500 million in military.
Phosphorus, cluster munition, both banned.
No way, really, Bill?
Yes. Plus, by the way, this is on the heels of Ukraine complaining that there's too much unexploded ordnance. Cluster munitions are banned because they use.
You're sure that they're saying that they're using phosphorus? Hang on.
They've got canisters.
U.S. Military assistance to Ukraine. False. There's no way they're using phosphorus. What?
I was expecting to go, oh god, they are.
Footage of them fitting drones, and they have canisters of chemical weapons.
I don't see. I'm not seeing the phosphorus. Wait, fake. Ukraine supplied Azerbaijan with phosphorus. That's a fake news story from last year. Where is this phosphorus thing from? I'm not seeing it, Bill. I just see if Bill you can find it, honey, because I don't see it. Anywho, whatever. The point is, it's in weaponry. The State Department pegged the figure at $450 million plus another $10 million in emergency aid for Ukraine's infrastructure. Well, it didn't end up at $460 million. Yeah, guys, I don't know about that thing. Bill just said that. He said he's gonna go find it. Yeah, phosphorus is legal, but it's not for anti-personnel use. Yeah, generally speaking. Putin thought Ukraine was weak. The West was divided. He thought he could outlast us. He was playing wrong. Biden tweeted, 1 year later, here we stand together, united with the people of Ukraine. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida said his country was pledging another $5.5 billion in assistance because of strong concern that Ukraine may be tomorrow's East Asia.
That is the main thing that they're going to get Trump to get out of the way, though.
Yeah.
Is because Trump will instantly negotiate a peace treaty and just say, like, this is ridiculous and stupid.
Yeah. The People's Court in The Hague, Netherlands, has no legal powers, but prosecutors said they will present evidence that... I love that there's like... you have no power whatsoever, but they're still reeing. They're still screeching autistically. But prosecutors said they will present evidence that Putin committed the crime of aggression. Yeah.
Yeah, whereas NATO didn't do anything.
NATO did... Well, but he did. I mean, he did physically aggress. NATO's aggression was less physical, right? By unleashing a devastating war that's killed thousands and left towns and cities in ruins. So another $500 million in specifically military aid to Ukraine. Again, I wouldn't have an issue so much. I would still have an issue, but I wouldn't have as much of an issue if it was food and helping with shelter and clothing and water. That wouldn't bother me. You know, humanitarian aid. That wouldn't bother me so much. But it's weapons. And by the way, we are quickly approaching $200 billion to Ukraine in the last year. 200 with a B billion dollars to Ukraine.
Can't repair the pipes in Flint, Michigan. Can't repair the trains, but we can send almost $200 billion to Ukraine.
here is Treasury Secretary of Treasury Janet Yellen announcing that the United States, this was, I think, the same day, not 500 million, an additional 10 billion in economic assistance to Ukraine.
In a country
Estimates
that's going to get its ass kicked by Russia.
Estimates of total U.S. economic and military aid to Ukraine now ranges between 115 to 200 billion in the last 12 months.
Resistance is making Ukraine's resistance possible by supporting the home front, funding critical public services, and helping keep the government running. In the coming months, we expect to provide around $10 billion in additional economic support for Ukraine. Putin himself thought he would achieve a victory.
Okay, well, I would assume, because if Putin was actually just fighting Ukraine, he would have achieved a victory. But instead, Putin is fighting the entirety of the West.
Single-handedly.
Yes, in an economic war. It is not Ukraine versus
Zelenskyy.
Russia. It's the full of the West.
It's Russia versus the West.
Economic power, yeah. Versus Russia.
And there's a bunch of us who want a more, finding a PC way of saying this,
What? I don't know what you're trying to say. So, well, you're thinking,
a victory for a different kind of Vladimir.
Oh, okay.
Because we don't have anything against Russia or the state, because all the
so
state
you mean
does.
A Volodymyr?
I'm gonna say the Chad Vlad.
So there's two Vlads involved here.
Yes, and
Vladimir Putin and Volodymyr Zelenskyy.
Yes, and you know the one I would prefer.
Yeah.
Because the one is sucking up all of our tax money for no fucking reason, and the other one just wants to sell us energy. Which one do you think I'm gonna like more?
Yeah, well,
the latter.
We talked about 2 weeks ago about how it looks. Look, everyone, it's pretty clear now that the U.S. blew up the Nord Stream pipeline.
Oh, we all fucking knew that.
Well, we knew it, but now there's been more and more confirmatory analysis that shows that the United States was in. We knew it when it happened because there were U.S. teams out there investigating the pipeline.
Not to mention that they said that they want to attack Russia's infrastructure for like,
and
what,
they
over 10
specifically
years?
said.
And Biden was asked, we'll put an end to Nord Stream. And they said, how would you do that?
Said that.
Biden said, trust me, we'll get it done.
How would you do it? And he said, we'll do it by putting a bomb in it, which, you know, when we covered it, when it happened, when the pipeline blew up, you and I covered it.
Yeah.
And we were like, well, it's pretty clearly.
It's clearly the Americans.
Even then, we knew because there was American, submersible teams out there the week before drilling.
Yeah.
Right there.
Exercises.
Doing exercises at the exact same location as where the pipeline was blown up.
Yeah, and that was the
so
cover
obviously.
for it.
And so I don't know how expensive it's been this winter for you to heat your homes in Germany. I know we have some people in Germany who watch the show, but I imagine it wasn't freaking cheap, you know?
Greetings, Germans.
Yeah, we have Patricia's Von Kempen's here a lot, and I don't know if the name gives it away, but Bill found it. Oh, this is from MSN. Real quick though, Gary Thomas for 10 says, also, I always find it annoying when people try to say that Ukraine and Russia are the same as China and Taiwan. Two very different situations, or at least I think they are. Maybe I'm wrong. No, they are very different situations.
Yes, one's Chinese, one's white people.
Well, no, shut up. But look, oh, I see where you got it from, but it sounds like it's a rejection here, though, Bill. But I'll bring this up. What Bill was talking about with phosphorus. It was requested, it was rejected. But the difference. I mean, I made a whole video about. Hang on, Bill's just saying. Oh, okay, Bill's saying that the rejection line dropped a few days ago. That's why he was heard about it. But so, with Russia and Ukraine, I made a whole video about it where you can go back and I talk about the ancient and then mostly the more modern history between Russia and Ukraine, both being part of the Soviet Union, but also before the Soviet Union to a little bit when they were both part of the Kiev and Rus. And they have a really long history together, just as China and Taiwan do. But it's a very different situation between and Russia and Ukraine because every situation is unique and different. So I don't think it's fair to compare them as being like a one-to-one analysis. There probably are some similarities there that we could make, but So this is what Bill sent me. NATO Secretary Jens Stoltenberg rejected a Ukrainian demand for cluster munitions and phosphorus incendiary weapons, saying the Defense Alliance does not provide such weapons. So that is not included in the military the new 500 million in military spending and the 10 billion that will be given to the country in allegedly infrastructure, but who knows. But Zelenskyy did ask for cluster munitions and phosphorus. This is MSN. This is not like, some lunatic website. This is MSN. I mean, MSN is a little bit lunatic, but NATO has neither recommended nor supplied these kinds of weapons. Supply artillery and other types of weapons, not cluster bombs, Stoltenberg told the broadcaster. Overall, Stoltenberg said the West should not worry that increased arms deliveries to Ukraine geez, sorry. I'm so sorry. Would trigger an escalation of the war. The biggest risk of all is if Putin wins. Why? Wait, why? Stoltenberg said. It would make the world far more dangerous and the West more vulnerable. Why? You still there, Spin?
Yeah.
Why would it make the West vulnerable? I'm just saying, okay, let's just say, hypothetically, Russia takes Ukraine, okay? Completely takes Ukraine, makes it part of Russia. How does that make the West more vulnerable?
Because NATO is now on their doorstep.
NATO's always been on their doorstep.
Yeah, I know, but let's not use logic here because it doesn't work.
Ukraine is not in NATO.
Yeah, that's the other part.
In fact, it would be disadvantageous. That part would be disadvantageous for Russia. They've pissed off the world. The all the members of NATO and the EU. So I absolutely do not see in any way in which Russia, if Russia just totally took and Ukraine and then just made it a part of Russia, how this would weaken the West, unless you're using a lot of people in the West are using Ukraine as a money laundering operation.
Allegedly.
Well, let's get into that allegedly. Let's get into that allegedly here in just a moment. Before we do, though, look at this dumbass shit. It's gonna take a minute for it to load because I don't know why it's being slow for me tonight, but it is the way that it is. So this is Biden arriving in Kyiv, and then all of a sudden, just curiously, because he's supposed to be in a war zone, and it is a war zone. Okay, let's be real about it. Air raid sirens start going off. It's not at all for video off. Not at all. So, I mean, just how curious, right? The second that Biden shows up in Kyiv, air raid sirens start going off. So they can film video of it with air raid sirens in the background.
Oh, what a tough guy.
Я не знаю, що ви там вообще бачите.
Wow. So stunning and brave.
Yes, it's very stunning and brave for Zelenskyy to be on his knees like a bitch, demanding everybody else's money.
Speaking of stunning and brave, here's some actually people who are having to go through some bravery right now. Here's the mayor of East Palestine.
Yeah, I think he has to prove himself too. And Mayor, before we let you go, you saw President Joe Biden over in Ukraine. Did that make you feel slighted in any way? I mean, he hasn't really. Can he not hear me?
I got you. He asked, before we go, I can repeat. He said, with the president being in Ukraine today, did that surprise you?
Absolutely. That was the biggest slap in the face. That tells you right now he doesn't care about us.
Yep.
So, agreed.
He can send every agency he wants to, but I found that out.
Well, it took him 3 weeks to start to send any agency. To send FEMA after saying FEMA, it wasn't FEMA's job. And then he got criticized and it was like, oh, I guess FEMA can go, whatever. And now all of a sudden other politicians are showing up, only after Trump. And this is a slap in the face. That on President's Day, you're in Ukraine. On President's Day. You're not in the United States. You know where you should be on President's Day, Joe Biden? In fucking East Palestine, Ohio.
This morning in one of the briefings that he was in the Ukraine giving millions of dollars away to people over there, not to us. And I'm furious.
On President's Day in our country.
Yeah, President's Day in our country. He's over in Ukraine, so that tells you what kind of guy he is.
Yep.
All right.
At least that's how I see it as well. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I can't blame them for that.
Air signs about any planes or bombs happening. Yeah. Now, let's see. Flannel McManus says, I thought the air raid sirens were fake. I don't know if they were. I don't think that those were overlaid because it's not just that one video. There's tons of videos. That was just the one that I had. But there's tons of videos of Biden landing and the air raid sirens all of a sudden coming on the second that he rocks up. So here's something interesting. Pump. What the hell? Trump publicly and Trump together and pumped. Trump publicly confirmed that the U.S. State Department was behind the Euromaidan uprising in Ukraine. You know that thing that I've been arguing about last year, Spoon?
With a certain two people?
No, not it's not just, first of all, okay, yes, I've been arguing with Adam and Stitch about it, but it's not just them. I've also been arguing with a whole bunch of people about it. And I've been constantly told, no, they're not dumb. I think that maybe they're not dumb. Don't be mean.
What do you mean, don't be mean?
Don't be mean.
This is me you're talking to.
Don't be mean.
If I can't be mean, I'm not myself.
That's true. So.
And I'm not gonna lie to people.
No. I would say that I got into a very minor argument on Twitter with a guy who I blocked him, and I'm sure that he was out there celebrating because he got blocked. The reason why I blocked him is because he said that he is a. Oh no, this is a different person. Sorry. One person did tell me that this was about me getting a flag from YouTube, which, by the way, YouTube reversed. I think I did cover that yesterday. Thank you. That was very nice. When I did block that guy who was a self-admitted mass flagger, and I was like, I blocked him. But I also blocked a guy who I was talking to about this conversation because I didn't block him. They blocked me. Sorry, I don't like pay attention to the things that happen on Twitter very much because it's not real. Twitter's fake and bullshit. So like I forget what happened. But so basically I was just responding to somebody else's tweet about the Trump, what was happening with Joe Biden, and I talked about how specifically what it was about, as we talked about yesterday, that there's that hairstyle in the in what's that new Russian game that they're all mad about again?
Oh, Atomic Heart.
Atomic Heart. So they
which I'm totally gonna buy, by the way.
It looked really fun. They claimed that the hairstyle that the hairstyle that the robots wear is Yulia Tymoshenko's hairstyle, and I said that's nonsense. One, that's nonsense. It's just a Slavic hairstyle. It's an ancient Slavic hairstyle. Ridiculous. And two, I brought up to him about how stuff happened, some of the stuff with Yulia Tymoshenko and the Euromaidan, and I started talking about it, and then like it went out of it spiraled because people kept asking me more questions, and it got to be like there's about 3 accounts that were calling me an idiot on Twitter and saying I don't know anything about Ukraine, I don't know anything about the situation whatsoever, I'm a big stupid ding dong dummy Republican, Putin simp, I suck Putin's dick. And it doesn't matter. Like I kept showing them, like here's some evidence. One time they were like, they were talking about the New Piat Ashton call, the Pate Ashton call, that one. And they asked me to send them a transcript, so I sent them because they're like, I don't believe that. So I sent them a transcript. They're like, this is from a pro-Russia site. It's like, well, it's the site that has the transcript on it. So then I just sent them a YouTube video, and then they blocked me with a YouTube video of the exact same thing. Of the actual call where you can hear their damn voices, and then they blocked me. And it was specifically about the Olga Bulgamitz thing, about the what I said something about the bullets having the signature of being from the U.S. At least that's what Olga Bulgamitz said. The woman who had been
the dermatologist,
pro Euromaidan. The
EU chick.
But she's more than a dermatologist. They call her dermatologist to be diminutive, in order to say that nothing she says makes any sense. So I released that call, and then all of a sudden they blocked me, which is really cute. And then someone keeps going and saying like, "Oh, you don't know anything." I'm like, Trump just fucking admitted to this. And they said, "Whoa, Trump of course lies." What I want to be clear about this is that for the last year, I have been saying that the United States was fundamentally involved in the Euromaidan uprising of 2014. 2015. What year did it happen? 2014, yeah. The U.S. was fundamentally involved. The U.S. picked who they wanted to be the new leader of Ukraine. Joe Biden was, of course, heavily involved because of his financial investment in Ukraine.
Because he's a crackhead boy.
And for the last year, despite the mountains of evidence that I provided, it's always been like, well, that's just circumstantial. Well, that's just a coincidence. I don't... And every single goddamn time, what I've been met with is, I won't believe it until I hear a United States official say that it's true. Here you fucking go.
But that's not the right official.
It's not the right one. That's it, isn't it? That's the problem, is now it's not the right one, huh?
World War III has never been closer than it is right now. We need to clean house of all of the warmongers and America last globalists and the deep state, the Pentagon, the State Department, and the National Security Industrial
Hair really thinning up there, Don, but you're 85, so or whatever. You're like 83. It's all right, understandable.
Complex. One of the reasons I was the only president in generations who didn't start a war is that I was the only president who rejected the catastrophic advice of many of Washington's generals, bureaucrats.
Abgail says Aiden wins. I'm not trying to win. I'm just trying to be correct. So I cross my T's and dot my I's. If I make a video, I make sure that every single fucking thing that I say is cited, because I made one verbal mistake by not being clear one time.
That is the closest.
Just not being clear enough.
That is the closest you have ever sounded to being like me.
I made one video.
I don't care about winning. I just want to be correct.
Ago.
Like
yeah,
that sounds like
4 years ago. I made a verbal mistake by not being clear enough in what I meant by something, and to this fucking day, people call me a Holocaust denier over just not like that it wasn't clear enough what I meant by something.
You
right?
should go like full 4chan, like it didn't happen, but if it did.
But that's not what I was saying at all. In fact, I did say
troll with it.
So that's why I learned a great lesson from that is to always be. Now I was beforehand, but then after that happened, it was, oh no, you will never find a single fucking flaw. Like I get real autistic about everything. In terms of my videos now, I'm not like, you can disagree with them, absolutely. You can disagree with my opinions, you can disagree with my takes. You can't disagree with the data, and you can't disagree with the evidence. Because I mean, you could say like, I don't like the way that I don't like that. I don't really think that that's great evidence. That's fine. You can't disagree with the fact that it's evidence. I'm sorry, I don't present anything but fucking evidence directly.
Apparently, you're my little
and the
protege.
so-called diplomats.
Your protege.
Oh, that's what someone in the chat said.
Oh, DP said that.
Yeah. I'm not really sure that. I'm not really sure about that. Because
No, I'm trying to teach you how to be more autistic. I'm always telling you. I'm always giving you opinions or my opinions on how to help your YouTube channel.
Well, let's put it this way. I got you to become an absolute monarchist.
You did. Yeah.
That was more of a Mulbug thing, to be honest.
Let's go back.
Yeah, but that's just because like he just said, look, if you want to hold power, and that's our main concern was we don't want power leaking, tying into one is yeah.
And it ultimately made sense. You had to explain to me like an equation, like a math problem. Got it.
Oh,
let me go back. Yeah. So let's go
Numbers.
back. Hey, yeah. Well, that's actually how Moldbug explains it. Explains it from a chess example. He's a big man too. Let's go back into Trump's, because this is really important. I think this is extremely important to watch. Let's listen to it. I think that let's hold off our comments to the end. So I'm gonna just let it play now. Okay.
Rejected the catastrophic advice of many of Washington's generals, bureaucrats, and the so-called diplomats who only know how to get us into conflict, but they don't know how to get us out. For decades, we've had the very same people, such as Victoria Nuland and many others just like her, obsessed with pushing Ukraine toward NATO, not to mention the State Department support for uprisings in Ukraine. These people have been seeking confrontation for a long time, much like the case in Iraq and other parts of the world, and now we're teetering on the brink of World War III. And a lot of people don't see it, but I see it, and I've been right about a lot of things. They all say Trump's been right about everything. None of this excuses in any way the outrageous and horrible invasion of Ukraine 1 year ago, which would have never happened if I was your president, not even a little chance. But it
Correct.
does mean that here in America, we need to get rid of the corrupt globalist establishment that has botched every major foreign policy decision for decades. And that includes President Biden, whose own people said he's never made a good decision when it comes to looking at other countries and looking at wars.
True.
We have to replace them with people who support American interests. Over our 4 years in the White House, we made incredible progress in putting the America Last contingent aside and bringing the world to peace. And now we're going to complete the mission. The State Department, Pentagon, and national security establishment will be a very different place by the end of my administration. In fact, just into my administration, it'll be a very different place, and it'll get things done, just like I did 4 years ago. We never had it so good. We'll also stop the lobbyists and the big defense contractors from going in and pushing our senior military and national security officials toward conflict, only to reward them when they retire with lucrative jobs, getting paid millions and millions of dollars. Take a look at the globalist warmonger donors backing our opponents. That's because they're candidates of war. I am the president who delivers peace, and it's peace through strength. There was a reason we had no conflict. There was a reason we didn't get into wars, because other countries respected us. I entirely built, all right from the beginning, rebuilt our military. It's a big reason for that. They didn't want to mess around with the United States, and now they're laughing at us.
For the first time
We could end the Ukraine conflict in 24 hours with the right leadership. At the end of my next 4 years, the warmongers and frauds and failures of the senior ranks of our government will all be gone, and we will have a new group of competent national security officials who believe in defending America's vital interests above all else. Thank you very much.
Wow, it sounds like, a sane man.
Presidential. And it is presidential, and it is sane. Now, I've always said that the answer to the Ukraine issue is to probably, which is not going to be, it's something that some Ukrainians like, by the way, is to give Russia Crimea. Maybe the Donetsk and Luhansk region. Now, a lot of Ukrainians obviously will not like that answer, and I don't think it's okay for Russia to just steal your country. But if you're Ukrainian, you also know that the people who live predominantly in Donetsk, Luhansk, and in Crimea are predominantly ethnic Russians. They speak Russian. The big thing that Russia wants with Crimea, that's their big ask. Their big ask is for Crimea, which they already took, by the way. They've had Crimea for years. Is that they wanted access to the Black Sea, Black Sea, is that what Crimea is attached to? I'm not great with geography.
Okay, you're American.
Yeah, I know. Right. Just living up to my stereotypes. I thought it was a great thing by Trump, but one of the things that he brought up there very early on was the involvement of Nuland, which is exactly what we've been saying for the last year.
Well, yeah, because she's on a phone call saying, fuck the EU.
She's on a phone call saying, fuck the EU, we're going to pick the new leader of Ukraine
and they picked,
in 2014. They picked Arseniy Yatsenyuk, and they said that they liked Yats the best, and that's who ended up in power. After, it wasn't like a normal election, it was a revolution that happened in Ukraine. People forget that. People forget that this was a revolutionary period in Ukraine, and when, it
was a coup.
It was a coup, and why was Joe Biden and what's his name?
Hunter Biden?
No. Well, Hunter Biden was, of course, involved with Burisma, but John Kerry and why were all of these major American political figures showing up and waving their hands and going "Yay" at Euromaidan?
Yeah.
Why were they showing up there?
Yeah, do you know who was there? John McCain.
John McCain and
John McCain does not show up unless there's war.
And John Kerry.
Yes, Mr. I travel by fucking private jet, but I fly economy.
John McCain and John Kerry and Joe Biden were all in Ukraine during the Euromaidan.
It's really weird that all three of them started with J, isn't it?
But right before it happened, there were all these tech camps that had been held in Ukraine, in Kyiv. Now, you can watch my video on it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
because I have a whole hour-long, like hour and a half long video about it, that the United States was clearly involved. But it seems that President Trump has confirmed that the United States was involved in it.
Well, we know that.
Of course. Well, no, I knew that. But many people that do not think that's true. They say it's all circumstantial. It's not good evidence. You know?
We call that coping.
Follows me. Yeah, I would be now, I know you're not the biggest fan of Adam and Sitch, but I consider them to be my friends. And I really would like to see Sitch, who in particular, who very much was against my opinion on this. I'd like to see his response to this, because one of the things that I was asked
TDS.
specifically in that conversation was, well, I need an American official. I need someone from the government to come out and say that it happened. This seems to be
that is utterly an unrealistic position.
But this is the former goddamn president saying it happened. I don't know what higher kind of authority are you going to go to than the former president of America? Kuromaro Oni-san said, Putin will not concede. Just keeping the rebel regions in China. Keeping the rebel regions in China. He needs new victories to appease the populace amid worsening quality of life. That is true, which was the reason for both this invasion and that of Crimea. I think the major reason for the invasion of Crimea was because of access to the sea. That was the reason, more than that. Now, also, technically, the Crimeans separated from Ukraine and then voted. Now they voted but they voted to secede and join Russia. So again, put a billion caveats on that one. It was a bloodless revolution in Crimea. Not a single person died. Not a single person died when Russia took over Crimea. That's
I get told
truth.
Russians are so violent.
True. So look at this shit. Pentagon. I just called this clip whenever it comes up. Yeah. Pentagon bullshitter tries to explain NATO expansion.
Oh, I did a video on this. This was great.
Did you? Okay, listen to this.
To look at this and say the reason that the Russian army is on NATO, the Russian army is at NATO's doorstep is because NATO has expanded rather than the Russians expanding. That, in other words, NATO has moved closer to Russia rather than Russia moving closer to NATO. Is that not an accurate way to look at this?
I think that's the way President Putin probably looks at it. It's certainly not the way that we look at it.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was the point you were making, Kuromaro Oni-san? By the way, I do think that the point you were making, which I just to go back to the super chat. Putin does need a certain amount of, I would say, to maintain his power. He does need a certain amount of animosity. Yeah. I don't trust Putin. I know that I said that I trust him above other world leaders, but that's it starts at a negative. It starts at a negative. So my baseline is negative at trusting anybody, particularly world leaders. So and Putin is still a negative, but it's I don't trust him at all. But do I trust him more than I trust other bullshitter world leaders? Maybe. And obviously, of course, Russia is expansionist. Russia has always been expansionist. So that is part of it as well. But let's not get that part twisted either. Of course, Russia is expansionist. But I think the invasion of Crimea, they said that it was because they were ethnic Russians, but I think that the real reason was, as I said, it was economic, to get access to the Black Sea. I think that was why. And to good economic reasons. Does that make it... Am I addressing your point a little better, Kuromaro?
The expansionist argument is a bit of a weird one.
Well, yeah, I mean, they haven't expanded in a while, but okay. But Russia's always been...
Yeah, but I'm hoping that because even Louis and Sagan admitted this, that if you get NATO involved, you are limiting their options. You are painting them into a corner, poking them. Go on.
Yeah. Kuromaro says he needs territorial gains because the people need bread and circuses, and the Russian population does not forgive military losses. I don't think this is bread and circuses. I really don't. I think it's predominantly about access to the Black Sea. And I really do believe that. So I think it's predominantly about access to the Black Sea, and to a lesser degree about getting access to lands that they think are theirs historically and are mostly in terms of population, mostly ethnic Russians speak Russian, not Ukrainian. So.
You don't think that NATO has expanded eastward toward Russia?
NATO has expanded,
Okay.
and the expansion has been a good thing for.
So the reason that the Russian army isn't.
So he's about to say, "Oh, NATO expansion is good," but all right. So remember, it's another lie that we've been told in the past that NATO has not expanded. I've been told this fucking lie over the last year that NATO has not expanded.
NATO expansion is only good for Mike.
But now he's saying yes, NATO has expanded. I mean, which is like fact, like there's no question about that. It's factually true. But NATO has expanded, and it's a good thing. But let's get into it.
NATO's doorstep is not the fault of the Russian army. It's not the Russian army that's done it. It's NATO has moved closer to moved
I'm pretty
east.
sure it wasn't NATO who was ordering, upwards of 15 battalion tactical groups to within 10 kilometers of the border with Ukraine, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't NATO who.
They did that in response to NATO, you fucking moron.
I would say yes. It was in response to NATO.
Yeah.
Put little green men inside Ukraine to destabilize eastern
I'm
cities.
pretty sure that Ukraine is not a member of NATO.
Yeah,
So
case in
unless
point.
that's
Oh.
changed.
Good fucking point. Ukraine is not a member of NATO. Interesting, right?
Yep.
It's not
Okay.
changed, but I'm
So,
pretty sure the movement by Russia is
Has
Russia's
NATO
decision.
if NATO is moved east, the reason that the Russian army is closer or on NATO's doorstep is because NATO moved, not
NATO
because
is not an anti-Russia alliance.
Listen, you didn't answer his question. You don't just pivot. It's interesting that he
Yes,
suddenly
it
says that it's not anti-Russia. It's not anti-Russia. Somebody asked you. You have moved east, and Ukraine is not part of NATO.
Okay, question.
NATO is a secure.
If NATO is a security area, as this man says, why is it trying to help the Ukrainians?
Yeah, if it's all about security, and this is not part of your security force, it's not
And
part.
Ukraine
it's
is not part of NATO.
And Ukraine's not part of NATO. Therefore, it's
Why
not
is
part of
NATO
something that you're
involved?
supposed to be securing. Then why? Yes, precisely.
not
NATO
because-
is not an anti-Russia alliance.
Yes, it
NATO
is.
is a security alliance.
Unfortunately, for 50 years it was an anti-Soviet alliance. So
Where's
do you
the
not
Soviet
understand
Union
it? So do you not understand how, or can you not even see how the Russians would perceive it as a threat? And
That's what I've been arguing for a goddamn year. Can you not see why the Russians would perceive it as a fucking threat? Of course they did.
Yeah.
Because for 30 years you kept pushing east. It doesn't matter that they're not the Soviet Union anymore and NATO is anti-Soviet Russia.
Yeah.
It's still Russia.
That just makes a good case for if it was anti-Soviet, what is the point of
Yeah.
NATO now?
Right. Yeah.
Who are you trying to protect it
Right.
from?
Right. Well, I mean, it's a good question. I don't understand.
If it's a defensive treaty, then what exactly are you marshalling to
If it's a
NATO's,
defensive
to
treaty,
Russia's border for?
Why are you pushing your forces towards someone
Russia,
else's
yeah.
border if it's defensive?
the fact that it keeps getting closer to their border while their troops, I mean, the places where their troops are, you say their troops are, and maybe
Also, Kuro, yeah, Putin did want to join NATO, but he's been denied every time. Every single time Putin has been denied access to join NATO. Because Putin did try in the 2010s to join NATO. He's actually not even the first one. In fact, the Russians have been trying to join NATO since the 1990s, okay? If you go back to the entire history, it's in my video, and you can watch my video, that since Gorbachev, the Russians have been trying to join NATO. They have never been allowed to join NATO. That's curious too, isn't it? Russians have been trying to join NATO and have been denied every single time they have applied over the last 30 fucking years.
it may have been in Ukraine and Georgia are not NATO members.
I'm not going to pretend to know what goes in President Putin's mind or Russian military commanders.
Well, that's
I
really
barely got a history
reassuring.
degree at the University
Yeah.
of South Florida. What I can tell you is that
Does that not
NATO is a
worry you?
defensive alliance. It remains.
That he just
Which
said
part
that.
specifically?
Is that he just said, I don't know what's going on through Putin's head. That's kind of your fucking
Yeah.
job, isn't it?
I mean, it should be. Well, also,
You're
it's,
a military
I don't think it's
strategist. That's what
but
you're
I also
supposed
don't
to
think it's
fucking
that
do.
complicated. I don't think it's that complicated.
Well, no,
I
because
told you
he's
what.
openly told you what the hell he thinks
Yeah,
of NATO.
he's made public speeches about it, but you could say he's lying. But I told you what I fucking think it is, which I think is quite simple, which is they want access
Why
to
would he
Crimea
lie?
because they want to have access to the Black Sea and they want to be able to trade. They want access to the Black Sea, and they want trade. And also, they have seen constant disrespect from the West since they stopped being the Soviet Union. The West has never stopped treating them like the Soviet Union. And I can understand why Ruskies are fucking tired of it. Because I'm tired of it.
We're Westerners
Look,
and we don't like the way that our elites behave.
Is Russia a corrupt country? Absolutely.
So is the West.
Is Ukraine a corrupt country? Oh, yeah.
And so is the
Pretty
West.
much every country is corrupt to a certain degree. It depends on the level of corruption. Russia's higher up there. Okay, let's be honest. Russia's very fucking corrupt.
You know when people
But
say
so
that,
is Ukraine.
When people say Russia's corrupt, I'm looking at our elites. They're going like, "How much money did you send to Ukraine again? Oh, you spent what 100 billion." But I'm supposed to believe that Russia is the problem. Like, okay, now, like,
yeah,
nah, no, I'm sorry, but just no.
Yep.
It's a defensive alliance.
Fair enough, but it has moved east. Correct? I mean, that's just a fact.
It has expanded, absolutely.
Right, exactly.
But there's no reason for anybody to think the expansion is a hostile or threatening move. And
why? Why do you assume that? Russia does have access to trade ports through Sochi. Yes, Sevastopol. But they're looking specifically at this one particular access. It's not just the access to the Black Sea. It's also access to a bunch of there's oil and gas both in Crimea. That's also a big part of it. I'm not
There's a
gonna
lot of
fuck around with you
oil
on
and
that.
gas there.
we've been saying that throughout the last 15 years, Matt.
You're moving closer to Russia. You're blaming the Russians for being close to NATO.
No.
That's exactly what it is.
We're blaming the Russians for violating the territorial integrity of Ukraine and destabilizing the security
which is
situation
not a
inside
NATO
Europe.
member. Which is not a NATO.
I see to you
Other
on that
countries
point.
feel threatened.
But why
why
is
do you
NATO
care?
involved? Why? Yeah, Sochi's on the other side of the country. Why do you care? Why are you involved? They are not part of NATO. This is absurdity.
Yeah, well, Rob just said you cannot assume that the other side interprets your actions the way you don't intend. Yeah, that's pretty much America's massive fucking egos. Like, we can do whatever the hell we want, and we don't really mean to do this, and then the West
We don't
lies
mean to, and we don't mean
constantly.
Yeah.
And you can see, like this is the thing. Like, whenever I hear, oh, Putin lies, like, have you seen the way the West
Everybody
treats
lies.
Russia for the last 30 fucking years?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but you can't expect me to just go, well, Russia is always going to be a bad actor, but as long as we maintain some level of morality, at least publicly, we can somehow do whatever the fucking hell we want. Like, no.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
As Tomb of Amenius says in the chat, violating sovereignty sounds like something the U.S. would do. Sure does, doesn't it?
No. It's not like it doesn't have a history of doing that.
But again, look, we've
We need
been
to
called
protect our
Putin.
freedom
We've been
by
called
fucking
we've been
over
called
everyone
Putin
else.
simps and Russia simps so many times.
I remember being called that, to be honest.
But I'm not. I'm trying to look at this objectively. And I think that there's some real objective stuff to look at how the West has not treated Russia fairly at all, as has just been laid out there. And what a bullshitter John Kirby looked like in that video. You could tell
like an idiot.
that he looks like an idiot because he can't really defend his freaking point because he's a ding dong.
Because it's shit.
So now China and Germany join Russia and demand an investigation into Biden's connections with the Nord Stream 2 pipeline sabotage.
Based Chicoms and Nazis, and I can't believe I just said that out loud.
Disavow. But,
Which, the Chicoms, the Nazis?
yes. Sayhurst dropped a bomb
Good
of a
fucking
report
answer.
a week ago tying Joe Biden to the sabotage of the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. The Germans don't like this. You blew up their freaking pipeline. They
Yes,
paid
'cause
for the
they own
majority of
it.
it. Yes.
Along
Gary
with
Thomas
Norway
for
and
5.
Switzerland.
Yeah, Gary Thomas for 5 says, as a proud American, I can honestly say, I hope I live long enough to see the complete collapse of American hegemony. Me too. Countries should be sovereign. I agree 100%. I'm
Those were
tired of
libertarians.
American. I'm so tired of American foreign democracy. I'm spreading democracy hegemony. I'm so tired of it. As an excuse for American intervention, I am fucking tired of it. I was tired of it before I was fucking born. My dad was very anti-war in Vietnam, so
That should really tell you something, isn't it?
What do you mean?
Is that they make state fascism via democracy. That should tell, like, democracy is not all it's cracked up to be.
It doesn't appear to be.
And if democracy is the vehicle by which they institute authoritarianism, what does that say about democracy, Hayden?
That doesn't work that well.
Even
Ammo
Sticks
Awesome
admitted
Art
this,
says,
which was rather base.
yeah, I'll play it in a minute. Ammo Awesome Art says, I'm in danger, T. Poland. Yeah.
Sound like fucking Wiggum's kid from...
That was the thing. It's from The Simpsons. I'm in danger. The pipeline was blown up last fall, and Hirsch accused the Biden gang of being behind it. Hirsch spoke a few days later about his report and doubled down on his reporting. Yep, most likely, allegedly. People are listening to Hirsch. As reported earlier today, TGP, Russia read Hirsch's report and is asking the United Nations to look into the report. If Biden did blow up this pipeline, this could arguably be an act of war that only Congress has the right to make per the U.S. Constitution. This is actually a very good argument. If Biden gave the go-ahead to blow up the pipeline, that's an act of war. It's actually an act of war against both Russia and Germany.
And Norway.
Yeah, and Norway and everyone else who paid for that pipeline.
Yeah, there's three.
And everyone else who paid for the pipeline. Yeah, you just went to war with most of northeastern Europe.
Yeah. And also three of those nations are supposedly your allies.
I know.
And then people wonder why the rest of the world is not like America.
Yeah, and all of NATO as a result, as Damian Freeman said. You technically attacked your fellow NATO members.
Yes.
So
much for that defensive treaty.
So interestingly, the NATO should go into response against us. If America blew up the pipeline, NATO should go into potential military action against the United States. Curious, right? This is grounds for immediate impeachment if true. Biden's response is damaging to the country. The U.S.'s reputation under Biden is failing. That's for sure. This is another act that damages the U.S. and Americans. China and Germany are now asking for investigation into the pipeline. According to RT, China is now reporting that on Hirsch's claim that Biden was involved in blowing up the pipeline. Beijing has mocked mainstream Western media for its apparent reluctance to look into recent allegations by Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Seymour Hersh that the U.S. was responsible for blowing up the Nord Stream undersea pipelines last year. We read Hersh's report a couple weeks ago.
You know, that should really tell you say something when Russia, Germany, and China are all saying, you're doing some shady shit. You know, if Russia and Germany has moral high ground over you, you are fucked.
It's because it's fucking true.
Yeah.
Like, there's no question about this. They blew up that damn pipeline. It's not a question about it. It's obvious. It's obvious prima facie. But we have so much evidence to show U.S. involvement.
And also just U.S. incentive.
And incentive to do so. Yes, exactly. Yeah. The sabotage of the natural gas routes last September had a major economic and environmental impact, caused global concern over the safety of cross-border infrastructure.
Remember when they said it was Russia who did it?
I know, that was so funny. Russia blew up their own pipeline. They spent billions of dollars.
Yeah, they've got a tap at the other end they can just turn off, but they're going to somehow massively gimp their own freaking...
It was like hundreds of millions. I don't know, it was a huge amount of money.
Retarded.
Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Wang Wenbin said during a press... I hope I'm pronounced... Wang Wenbin. This is how it's pronounced. Said during a press briefing on Thursday. China and Russia aren't the only two countries interested in what happened. A German MP, is also asking for an investigation into the matter. Lawmaker Seven Dagdelen made her appeal after allegations that the U.S. was behind the Nord Stream blast in Berlin must not obstruct the creation of an international inquiry into the explosions of the Nord Stream gas pipelines. Seven Dagdelen, MP from the left party Die Linke, said on Tuesday. The left party.
This is going to get interesting.
How? Well, because this is non-partisan.
Well, yeah, because I just want to know who the fucking hell sabotaged our pipeline and why the fuck is our
interest
so expensive.
Who blew up this pipeline that people have spent millions of dollars on? Yeah, it's kind of a big deal. I have one more gateway pun. I hate to always like type the, but Zelenskyy threatens World War III if China allies with Russia.
How the fucking hell is that little munchkin making any threats?
The reason I had to cite this on
you little bitch.
The reason I had to cite this on Gateway Pundit, but by the way, Cassandra McDonald. I know there's stuff going on with the. I hope Cassandra doesn't get mad at me. I like Cassandra, but I'd be mad at me after the video I'm going to post about Eliza Blue. But so this is a translation from the German newspaper Die Welt on Monday. Quote. For us, it is important that China does not support the Russian Federation in this war, the Ukrainian president said. In fact, I would like it to be on our side. At the moment, however, I don't think it's possible. Zelenskyy says he hopes that China will make pragmatic assessment of what is happening to avoid additional conflict. Because if China allies itself with Russia, there would be a world war. And I don't think that China is aware of that. Zelenskyy threatened. It is a threat, right?
The US literally said we want to be at war with China by 2025.
Well, here's your world war.
And China is not stupid. China knows the West is actively attacking Russia.
You just fucking imagine the hubris of this literal manlet to say, let's be honest, okay? In the big scheme of things, what are the countries that matter in the world in terms of like global politics?
America, China, Russia.
Yeah, okay. You know what country doesn't matter?
Ukraine.
Ukraine. Okay, you don't fucking matter in the global scheme of things. You know what other country doesn't matter? The country that we both live in. Well, the country that you and I both live in.
UK?
United Kingdom. Yeah.
No, the
United
UK
Kingdom
does matter.
Fucking matter. It does matter, but less than America and less than Russia and China. Those are the big players.
I would say the UK matters more than the US, actually.
The UK does matter a lot, but the biggest players, the three biggest players, the UK doesn't matter a lot. Okay, I'm not trying to like downplay the UK. I love living here, actually, by the way. But like, the biggest players, the big dogs, are Russia, China, US. Okay, like that's just the thing. What absolutely does not matter is Ukraine. I'm just sorry, like your country is largely impoverished and has been impoverished the entire time. Okay, like for its entire existence for the last 100 years.
Yes.
Even though you're a breadbasket, the average Ukrainian makes like no money. You're a very depressed area. This dude is trying to make threats about World War III over his nothing burger country.
Yeah.
Are you for real? What a loser.
The only reason why your country means anything is because you're kind of being prompted by Western elites.
A.K.A. Potosai brings up a good point. It's anyone with nukes. That's a country that matters. Yeah, probably.
So that by that logic, it'll be. Trying to see now.
Russia has the most nukes.
It'll be Russia, China, France, Britain, North Korea.
Yeah, North Korea. And North Korea has like 3, and Iran has some.
Iran's manufacturing some, or at least been trying to. I can understand why. He's like, hey, come with us and we'll fucking nuke you. So it's a pretty strong fuck off deterrent.
Also, Kuro says China has joined all major sanctions against Russia. They only play nice with winners. Yeah, China is definitely playing a game here, obviously. I think so. Let's look at the NATO cringe, shall we?
Oh, God. This
is the
actual NATO account. Which
maybe
if you
one of the cringiest things.
If you weren't a fan of NATO before, you're not going to like NATO after this.
Well,
have some shekels.
Oh, Minnesota Fats for $5 says, "Hey boss, happy payday Friday. Thank you so much. Have some shekels. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to know why Russia wasn't allowed to join NATO. I mean, seriously, not effing knee. Not effing knee? Not effing... Not effing desu ne. Effing. Am I missing something? Not effing? Not effing desu ne. Desu ne means like a period question mark. But effing. Sorry, I don't get it. I'm sorry, I don't get the meme. But why was Russia not allowed to join NATO? Because Russia was never allowed to join NATO. If you watch my video, I'm sorry that I keep repeating it because I explain it in my video. I already did it, you know. If you watch my video on it, I explained that I forget who exactly said it. I think it was someone who was someone who worked for the U.S. government said Russia would never be allowed to join NATO ever, and they said it in the 90s. They said Russia will never be allowed to join NATO ever. Oh, non-fucking knee destiny. I get it. Non-fucking knee destiny. Okay, so what? Question mark. I get it. Oh, I get why you had to censor yourself instead of fast. Thank you. I finally got it.
Can you not swear in super chat?
No, it's really weird about that kind of stuff. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I know.
That's fucking gay.
Let's look at this extremely cringe NATO tweet.
Oh God.
Can you read it, please? Because I hate it.
Ukraine is hosting one of the greatest epics of the century. We are Harry Potter and William Wallace, the Na'vi and Han Solo. We're escaping from Shawshank and blowing up the Death Star. We are fighting with the Harkonnens and challenging Thanos. Oh, kill me now.
I hate it. I hate it so
Can you
much.
scroll and see some of the comments?
Yeah. Oh.
Some of the comments are great.
God, I don't know what's up with the. Like it's being on my side. It's so slow to bring up stuff. I think it's actually the Brave browser, which I don't think. I love Brave browser. I don't know why it's. But look at some of the comments, I guess. Oh, so there's like 10 parts to this tweet.
We haven't won yet, but in many ways we've won. No, you haven't. Let's just cope.
Star Wars reference. Thank you, Dolan Dark, based. Russia should win for this tweet alone, says Ian
I like
Miles-Strong.
that.
Okay. As you can see that we follow each other. Ian Miles-Strong did allegedly kill a dog, but I don't know. Ian's always been nice to me though, so I don't know. I have nothing bad to say about Ian.
Never let an AI write your post for you.
Yeah, candidate for worst tweet of all time. You're cringe AF. Never let AI write posts for you.
True.
555. Dial 555. Come on now. Yeah. Oh my god, this Navi thing. Utterly disgusting tweet. My god, World War III is just a violent game for you. This woman's right. A chance to play Harry Potter, Star Wars, and Dune all at once. Hundreds of thousands of people are dead. You don't seem to mind because they're mostly Slavs. Stomach churning. Wow, based Cindy Hodel. Based Cindy Hodel. I'm following Cindy Hodel for that tweet alone. Oops. Dies from cringe.
That was pretty much me.
Yeah.
That guy looks like
yeah.
It looks like Liam Neeson.
You're not familiar with this meme? The I receive, you receive thing?
No, I can see
trade
some
offer. Trade offer. I receive 117 billion. Try closer to 200 billion. You receive fairy tales for children. Yep, that's about where we're at in the.
That's a good fucking meme. That
this tweet is enough of a reason to abolish NATO.
Agreed.
It's absolutely. It's just sickeningly stupid. Sickeningly stupid. So I'm gonna play the Sticks video, or the part that you wanted to bring up about that's in response to the NATO cringe.
Yes.
Once it loads, which will probably take like a minute. Oh, here we go.
Well, I mean, everything's moving in that direction thanks to the authoritarians who use promoting democracy as a cudgel against their ideological opponents while ushering in more and more state fascism. Fascism being similar to communism in many ways, by the way. Authoritarian ideologies are always far left. That is of necessity. But don't use the term domino effect. It's going to be seized upon.
I know.
That was
it's so good. It's so good.
Sticks just said communism and fascism is very much the same, and authoritarianism is always far left. Thank you,
but it's true.
Sticks.
Well, because Sticks is always right.
God
like, obviously.
bless the Lord of Clankdom.
I have a couple more things about this. Is involved in this segment is called Bumbling Biden Admin, and so here I get the Arkansas cops rule suicide death of Clinton aide linked. I know this is a bit jarring because we've been talking about Ukraine stuff. We were talking about Palestine. Arkansas cops rule suicide in death of Clinton aide linked to Jeffrey Epstein, who was found shot and tied to a tree with an electrical cord around his neck, despite no sign of weapon. It was a suicide, despite the fact that no weapon was found anywhere near him. It was,
he was hanging
eventually
from a
found.
Tree.
He was tied to a tree. Yeah. And he killed himself with a shotgun, I believe.
Oh yeah, clearly.
Was it not with a shotgun? Let me double check that. Don't want to give misinformation. The grisly scene where a top Bill Clinton advisor was found hanged from a tree with a gunshot wound to his chest has finally been revealed 9 months after he died. The sheriff's report to Mark Middleton's mysterious death raises more questions than answers, as it rules he died by suicide. In other words, there's a specific term for this type of suicide. Are you aware of this?
Yeah, it's called Clintoning.
Yeah, it's called being Clinton. Despite no sign that the weapon had killed, no sign of the weapon that killed him. Middleton, 59, was found dead last May at the Heifer Ranch in Perryville, Arkansas, an hour west of Little Rock. The release of the report was held up after members of his family petitioned the judge. They were worried that pictures from the gory scene would be made public. The judge eventually ruled that details could be released, but photographs could not. Good. Thank you. I'm very actually happy you didn't release the photos. Well, maybe you should in this case, but I don't want to see a poor man who's been suicided, aka Clinton. The report, written by Perry County Sheriff Deputy Jeremy Lawson, says he was called to the ranch by worker Samantha McElroy, who had found Middleton's abandoned black BMW SUV. McElroy, 46, then walked around the cottage on the ranch. Almost immediately after stepping around the corner of the cottage, she started yelling, wrote Lawson. Upon reaching the back of the cottage, she pointed towards the rear of the property and asked if that was a person. I could see what at first appeared to be a man sitting near a tree. As my eyes focused better, I could see rope of some type going to the tree limb to the male. Lawson said it was clear that Middleton was dead. I could see that he had a gunshot wound to the chest. To the chest? How do you shoot yourself with a shotgun in the chest?
I don't know.
Yeah, he was hung. I know. You can't. We're going through this. I could see that he had a gunshot to the chest. A deputy said that a search of Middleton's vehicle turned up 3 boxes of buckshot and a gun, but no weapon. Curious. The details give fresh insight to the death of Middleton, a married father of 2 daughters, age 18, found dead on last year. But totally wasn't Clinton. Middleton was a special advisor to Bill Clinton in the 90s. Signed Jeffrey Epstein into the White House on 7 of the 17 times that the late pedophile visited. Middleton also flew on Epstein's jet, nicknamed the Lolita Express. More recently, he had been working for his family's HVAC. That's HVAC is heating, ventilation, air conditioning in Little Rock. The police report was released to Daily Mail by Perry County Sheriff's Office. According to the Arkansas Times, Middleton's family said he was suffering from depression. Well, that's from working with the Clintons, I would imagine. Middleton's life in recent years was a world away from the power he enjoyed in the 90s. White House visitor logs, previously reported by the Daily Mail, show that he appears to be authorizing signatory of the 7 Epstein White House visits, most of which were to the West Wing. In addition to being a specialist assistant to the president, Middleton was also an assistant to the chief of staff, Thomas McGlarty. Middleton left the White House in February of 1995 and was accused of setting himself up as an international dealmaker, exactly the kind of person who would appeal to Epstein. You can, of course, read the rest of this article if you want. There's the Perry County Sheriff's Office report here. In 1996, an investigation by the White House found that Middleton had abused his access to impress business clients and was barred from the executive mansion without senior approval. Middleton denied the claim. A member of Clinton's former associates have denied over the years in unexpected circumstances, including to Deputy White House counsel Vince Foster. In his 1993 death was ruled a suicide, but sparked a slew of conspiracy theories about his involvement with the Clintons. After Epstein hanged himself.
I cannot unhear Vince Foster. I cannot unhear that name without hearing so many punchlines from Norm Macdonald, who used to make fun of the Clintons all the time because it was very obvious that they killed Vince Foster.
Yeah, everyone knew it.
Yes.
Everyone knew it.
You know who that is? Vince Foster. It's like, oh god.
I really want to get into this stuff, but I think we're almost done. We're almost done with this segment. After Epstein hanged himself while awaiting trial in 2018, Trump retweeted conspiracy theories that Clinton was involved. Others whose deaths have been linked to the Clintons without foundation. Really? Without foundation?
Yeah, there's only like 50 people associated with them that mysteriously die, all in the exact same fucking way. Like, yeah, that's
there's a reason
totally
that
normal.
Clinton is a verb, right?
Or to be Clinton is also a verb, yes.
Well, yeah, Clinton is a verb. Clinton, yeah. Other deaths have been associated with the Clintons without foundation have been Seth Rich, the Democratic National Committee staffer who was murdered in 2016, with no culprit having been found. Look, he was just murdered by the Clintons. In my opinion, that is an opinion. I'm just saying it. I think this guy was also murdered. Just my opinion. They like to murder people. Now, here's the reason why I brought that up. Okay? I had a reason for bringing it up. I had a reason for bringing up a brand new article, which is true. Well, I mean, the article is new. It's true that it's a new article. Is that, going back to the East Palestine thing and feeling that it coming as full circle on this story. Environmental scientists headed to
Crash
Ohio,
in Little Rock, Arkansas.
just died in a plane crash. Uh-oh. Now, by the way, my heart really does go out to the families. These are real people who fucking died, okay? It's insane. That's not something that I can in any way. These are real people who had families, who had loved ones, who were killed. They were scientists who died going out to East Palestine. And somehow their plane crashed so that now you can't send actual toxicology experts out to East Palestine, excuse me. And if you do send them, they're going to be murdered. I don't know, but this looks really weird, right? This looks, yeah, the plane has been derailed, right? Look at this.
We have breaking news tonight of a plane crash in Little Rock, Arkansas. Just minutes ago, we learned the people on board were actually headed here to Northeast Ohio to help clean up the Oakwood Village explosion from Monday. All 5 people on board worked for an environmental consulting firm.
The plane took off from the Clinton National Airport around.
I'm not laughing at the people's deaths in any way. I'm laughing at the fact that it's the Clinton International Airport. Spoon, you still there? Leave.
Yeah.
It's the Clinton National Airport.
Mm-hmm.
The irony. Now, as I said, I'm absolutely horrified at the fact that these people have died. But the irony is palpable.
Noon and was headed for John Glenn Columbus International Airport. Right now, we are digging into this story. We'll have much more on air and online as soon as we learn it.
We have breaking news tonight of a plane crash in Little.
All right. Let's get into the stuff that I want to talk about, which is that I want to watch the South Park thing.
Let's have a bit of a laugh at Harry and Meghan's expense because I've finally caught up with this South Park episode, and the bit I love about
So this is the second segment that I wanted to move into that we didn't get to yesterday, which is called Cultural Collapse in LOL Suits.
it is the brand management, and in this sequence about brand management, Harry actually gets convinced by the South Park.
So I'm not sure, like, if you guys have seen any of the stuff that happened with. I have not actually watched the full South Park episode, but South Park made an episode making fun of Harry and Meghan. We'll get into it, but I will just say initially they threatened to sue.
Park gang that he needs to be a bit more authentic. Have a look.
He's right. Trying to make ourselves into a brand just turned us into products. We don't need to be a brand, do we? If it's truly what we want, then we really can get away from it all. No more magazines and Netflix shows. We really can live a normal life. Yes, I'm sure you agree, darling. We can be the people we talked about being.
I love that Megan says that. Perfect.
No more worries about how we look or the image we project to people. What matters is what we have on the inside.
Hello? Literally an empty bin. Spoon, are you still there? Spoon? Oh no, did he died? Did he fall asleep? It's only 11 o'clock. Did he died? Maybe he went away for a second. All right, let's keep watching. I have the ultimate capacity to end the stream, so he'll be all right. Fall asleep. Oh, hello.
I mean,
You didn't find that funny? You're falling asleep.
I'm
Are you
right
right?
here.
Can you do another hour?
Hell no.
We have one more hour to go, dude.
No.
I have shit I have to do.
You were lucky to give me half an hour.
All right, let's go.
I don't think Megan's buying it.
Hey, can you go get some coffee?
No.
Lose.
Kosher, and I don't think there's much on the inside. There's talk that the Royals are going to...
So, okay, it doesn't matter. So there is talk that the Royals were going to sue. She's going to say here is that They're
Do
gonna
over this
sue.
episode now. Would you recommend they do that, Kosher?
So basically, what happened is that they said that they were going to sue over the South Park episode, which was hilarious. And again, did you miss the part? Did you fall asleep when they portrayed Megan as a bin?
No.
Okay, you're aware. I don't. Oh, that's not the right. Oh, it didn't work. Oh, I had the wrong link. Here we go. Here it is. Meghan Markle, Prince Harry label
Old
South
man
Park
needs his rest.
boring,
Fuck you.
boring and baseless after biting episode. Meghan Markle. You know what? You know what the thing is? Is that I'm not putting you to the test. You read this. Do some work. I need to stop doing work. Read a little bit of it. I'm gonna smoke a cigarette. Read some of it. I'll be right here. I'm right here. Just read some of it. You do it, Spoon.
Listen here, you bossy wench.
I'm not trying to be.
Fucking look at this thing. You do some work. You fucking.
You do some work. Come
Fucking
on.
hell.
Come on. There you go. Here, read this one.
Say please.
Please.
Man,
Please read this
Prince
silly
Harry
article.
and the tumultuous Bint are downplaying the South Park episode that mocked them, saying it was baseless and boring, according to their rep. Is this according to their rep or their opinion? Because
according to their rep, because they also made
you definitely
vague
watched
allegations
this.
about suing. Yeah.
Fucking
Or they
hell.
clearly did.
Yeah, of
no,
course
they,
they did.
no, they admit they did because Harry thought it was apparently funny.
Harry
And
thought it was
Meghan
funny.
hated it. Harry apparently was laughing at it, and Meghan was very upset.
Well, that's because in the episode, Harry is redeemable, whereas she is not. She is portrayed as an empty-headed jackass who, if Harry can get the hell away from her, he can
She
become
is
a normal
portrayed
person.
as a literal bin.
Yeah, literally. That's was the
No,
end of the
I'm
episode.
serious. She's
I know.
a
I saw.
literal
I've
bin.
seen. I've
Yeah,
seen the
okay.
episode.
Okay.
At the end, when he just yells down her throat. It's so fucking funny.
Continue.
Hold on a second. The famously non-private couple.
Yeah, yeah. It is. They're famous for that, for not being very private.
Oh god, who put their past royal life on full display with Harry's memoir? Was reportedly fuming after Comedy Central episode
Yeah,
aired,
Spare,
titled
otherwise known as
the
Wah.
Worldwide Privacy Tour. The Duchess were told to be upset and overwhelmed. You're an American, that's like normal for you. By the show,
Obviously.
which did not name the Sussex specifically, but featured characters that resembled them. It's obviously fucking them. The long-running animated satirical series mocked the fictional couple for begging for privacy while throwing themselves in the limelight, including one scene where they go on the talk show Good Morning Canada to promote the Prince's new book, Wham! The talk, so they walk into their talk show studio appearances holding signs demanding privacy before discussing the autobiography. Yeah, that is exactly what happened.
That's what they're doing. It's like they're making themselves completely public. It's oxymoronic. It is the definition of oxymoron.
No, it's just moronic.
That's true as well. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Scroll down, please.
Sorry, JoJo's. You can read this article though, because I'm gonna continue to cigarette. All right.
Let's see. The host of the spoof talk show asks the prince, "Isn't it true, sir?" What kind of just said? "Isn't it true, sir, that your questionable wife has had her own TV show and hangs out with celebrities and does fashion magazines?" Referring to Markle's time on the TV show Suits, royal reporter Neil Sean told Fox News that the episode could even prompt legal action from Harry and Meghan, who've repeatedly fought the media for reporting on their lives. Yes,
Who was a royal advisor
while you
specifically.
tell them about your lives, you fucking stupid
Right.
idiots.
So, and by the way, like we've covered it before. Let me find it actually.
that she's a horrible bitch?
Keep reading. Keep reading. I'll bring up the segment from
Their
Harry's
legal team
autobiography.
are casting
Allegedly.
an eye over the episode to see what is wrong. Nothing's wrong. It's called funny. And what could be turned into something more sinister. Basically, how can we possibly become more attention-seeking fuckwits and validate the entire purpose of the episode in the fucking first place? This appears to be the course of action rather than laughing it off, enjoying the moment and showing the world that they can get the joke. But they can't,
No, they can't.
because they suck.
Yeah, they do suck. I'm trying to find this the lines from him, because I did have it. We played it before on the show where it's
Is
like
there more down?
where he talks about like my mummy, and it's hilarious. So
In the episode, the couple goes onto the talk show Good Morning Canada to promote the prince's new autobiography. But a rep, the Sussexes, who now reside in California with their 2 children, said Tuesday that the couple does not plan to sue over the spoof, apparently. The source told the Spectator Markle was annoyed by South Park, because of course she is, but refuses to watch it.
They also said, she won't watch it. She also said like she was like crying at another outlet I've seen. She was like not just annoyed, but was also crying about it. But here's a dramatic reading of part of the book. As soon as it comes up.
Was traumatized.
Traumatized. I love this read. So good. It's so good. I want to replay it because it's amazing.
Venus was oscillating between extremely sensitive and borderline traumatized. I have been trying some home remedies, including one recommended by a friend. She had urged me to apply Elizabeth Arden cream. My mummy used that on her lips. You want me to use that on my tudgy? It works, Harry, trust me. I had found a tube, and the minute I opened it, I was transported through time. I felt as if my mother was right there in the room. I took a smidge and applied it down there. Hang on, Clem Fandango. Who the fuck has written this book? His Royal Highness Prince Harry? What a silly prick. Obviously a bunch of fabricated nonsense by his thespian wife. Although I do wonder about that Elizabeth Arden cream. Might make a note of it. My cock's been itching like a banshee for the past fortnight.
Oh, I love it.
Can you play the clip again?
My Todd, yeah.
Can you play the bit where it says, who the fuck wrote this?
Yeah, play it one more time. For Spoon's benefit.
His Royal Highness Prince Harry.
Let's go back. Wait,
hang on, Clem Fandango. Who the fuck has written this book?
Who the fuck has written this? His Royal Highness Prince Harry. Well, it's all right. He's not a prince anymore.
Just the way he says "who the fuck" and the emphasis on the fuck is fucking great.
So Kyle Rittenhouse is hit with a new lawsuit from the man he shot during the 2020 Kenosha clash. Little bit of a shock. It is the old I will have. Image.
By the way,
I forgot to do this.
By the way,
this
episode, this with Carl right here. This is why you follow Trevor's advice from GTA 5.
Yeah. His
advice is, and that is why you don't leave witnesses.
Here's what you actually should do: is like, arg, my keys are red hot. This is not it. This isn't the fucking thing. This is the wrong one. Wow, you screwed. It's not the correct one. Where's the old spicy bicep? I got it. Hang on. I have to go to.
That guy's clearly gay, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great meme, but I have to find the original. Unfortunately, like apparently, there's a bunch of my keys. Where's the original fucking?
Is there a
meme?
context to this?
Yeah, it's about Kyle Rittenhouse.
This one?
Yes, it is. Why does it say my keys? Where's the old spicy bicep? Why can't I find the original image? Here it is. Okay, I found it. That was weird. Well, I can tell you why it took me to find it. I don't want you to. My arm. My arm is red hot. Kyle, you rat. You weren't using the rifle to protest for Black Lives Matter. You were shooting my upper arm to give me the old spicy bicep. How could you give your own fellow American the spicy bicep, Kyle? The old spicy. I think the other image is actually the original one that was up here a moment ago, but this is the far funny one. The spicy bicep. So Gage Grosskreutz, who is a wife beater, convicted wife beater, just letting you know, convicted domestic abuser, is suing Kyle Rittenhouse. Here he is. There's his little face. Can you cover this for a second? I'm gonna go grab soda.
Let's see. The man who shot in the arm by Kyle Rittenhouse, or who was rather, during the Kenosha riots in 2020, has filed a lawsuit against Kyle Rittenhouse and Wisconsin police and officials. Yeah, but he's not going to strong-arm Kyle into a lawsuit. Gage Grosskreutz, who testified that he pointed a firearm at Rittenhouse before the then teenager shot Grosskreutz and 2 others, is seeking economic losses and also nerve damage. Damage for emotional distress, humiliation, loss of enjoyment for life. You pointed a gun at his face, you stupid fucking asshole. You should be glad he didn't kill you. Another pain and suffering on all claims. That's because, again, you pointed a gun in his face. You got... be thankful you're not killed. Shut up. Astonishingly, the Kenosha Police Department...
He was not the one who pointed the gun in his face. That was Joseph Rosenbaum. No, Joseph Rosenbaum hit him with the bag. It was this guy who pointed the gun in his face. You're right. No, yep, you're right. I forgot. Yeah. Yep, it was this guy, Gage Grosskreutz, who pointed a fucking gun in a pistol in Kyle's face.
Yeah, and he said
shot in self-defense.
He only shot you once you pointed a gun at his face. Yes, correct. Yep. Like self-defense right there.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. Astonishingly, the Kenosha Police Department, Kenosha County Sheriff Department, their supervising officials and police officers, law enforcement officers from surrounding communities did not treat defend Rittenhouse or any other armed individuals put on the streets as a threat to the safety of themselves or the citizens they were sworn to protect, states the lawsuit, which was obtained by Fox News Digital. Instead, law enforcement defendants deputized these armed individuals, conspired with them, and ratified their actions by letting them patrol the streets armed with deadly weapons to mete out justice as they saw fit. Yes, and then you, like moronic jackasses, decided to point your gun at the guy, and then you're worried why, or then you wonder why a guy who was carrying a rifle would shoot you once you point a fucking gun at him. You stupid, retarded asshole. I have no sympathy for you whatsoever. Eat a dick. You pointed a gun at someone's face that was armed with a rifle.
Right.
You're just stupid.
Yeah. Jacob Blake was the guy who hit him with the skateboard, I believe. Someone's asking in the chat who asked. Abigail. I think it was Jacob Blake, the pedophile. Was Rosenbaum the pedophile, or was Jacob Blake the pedophile?
Who was the one that was screaming the N-word?
I think that was Jacob Blake.
That's like the 5'6" bald man.
Just remember, he shot a... It's really easy to remember this stuff about Kyle Rittenhouse. He shot a wife beater...
pedophile.
A pedophile.
A
convicted pedophile. And a career criminal. So Gage Grosskreutz, so he was the career criminal. He shot him in the arm, right?
Bicep.
Anthony Huber, yeah, thank you. So he shot the career thief in the arm. He shot the wife beater in the heart, and he shot the pedophile in the dick. Like, you can't make that up.
You shot the pedophile in the dick?
Just clearly, in his crotch.
The
reality is that I'm sorry, I don't see any, like, look, I don't know, everyone's religious, but that seems like God was aiming that rifle. Just saying. The thief in the arm,
Holy
the pedophile in the pedophile in the dick, and the wife beater in the chest. Wow. He didn't know that about those people, but what a perfect score. Good. All people who were trying to kill him, by the way, letting you know. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Continue, please.
Hold on a second. Instead, the law enforcement defendants deputized... I've already read that part. Let's see. Rittenhouse told Fox News Digital that he is ready to prove my innocence yet again in this suit, but he said it will come with a hefty price tag. Grosskreutz was one of 3 men shot by Rittenhouse in August of 2020 in what Rittenhouse lawyers argued was self-defense before the then teenager was acquitted on homicide
it's
charges.
been proven
Yes.
in a court of law. So the rest of this is mostly good luck, Gage. Fuck yourself. So you sent me this article. Singapore man sues woman for not wanting to be friends, for just wanting to be friends, not partners.
Oh yeah, this was really weird. It's one of the few times where I sat with a woman.
This is,
the man is a moron.
The man is a moron, and
A very entitled moron.
Some people in the chat might get a little upset, but in this case, look.
If me and Aiden are siding with the woman, then that should tell you something.
It should tell you something. Go ahead and read this for me as well, because I'm gonna smoke a cigarette, but I'll be right back. I'm right here.
Let's see. A man in Singapore. Okay, no fucking way in hell. I'm like this close to falling asleep. A man in Singapore is seeking more than $3 million? Okay, right. 1.87 million pounds. Why is it? Oh, it's Guardian. In damages from a woman who said that she saw him as only a friend, claims she caused him trauma and damaged his stellar reputation. I want to say the F word so badly because I can't think of any other word to describe someone that would sue a chick for saying that you're friends and then still think you have a stellar reputation as anything other than a faggio. A defamation case being brought by K. Aiden, how the hell do you say that surname? Korshigan? I'm going to go with that one. Claims the damages are to cover loss in earnings and investments, as well as rehabilitation and therapy programs to overcome the sustained trauma. According to court documents, a woman rejected you and you needed therapy and you were suffering from trauma. That's because you're a bitch. I want to know how attractive she was. That is the only thing that will make me think that your grievance is legitimate. If this woman is like smoking hot, the most attractive Asian that has ever lived.
Still what an insane thing, though.
I want to know what she looks like. Because if she's just run the mill, I'm gonna just think you're an absolute moron. If she's like smoking hot and can make my IQ like lower by 2 deviations, then I can go, don't agree with it, but understandable.
Not agreeable, but like this is a crazy story.
Yes. It's a lawsuit to be heard next week accuses the woman of allegedly defamatory remarks and negligent conduct, according to court papers. The second case filed by Korshigan at a magistrate court, which claimed the woman breached an agreement to improve their relationship, was recently dismissed as manifestly groundless and without foundation. A verdict that was welcomed by gender equality activists. Like, the fact that you're making me side with them makes me just hate everyone involved in this bloody story. The judgment published in January.
But it's also true. Like, this is like, okay, I've literally had this happen to me. And it's not just me, like Melanie Mac, I brought Melanie Mac's story the other week to you, right? Spoon, you remember that? Where like, just some guy was obsessed with her and was like, you will be my wife. And then when she was like a random guy on the internet was like, you will become my wife. No, he wasn't Islamic. He was just like some random like weirdo. And then decided to destroy her life.
You will be my wife.
Now, by the way, I don't think that this would happen under normal circumstances. It's because society has become so incredibly fucked that we find men who are so screwed in the head that they latch onto some woman and go like, you're my wife now and you don't have a choice in it. That wouldn't happen under normal evolutionary circumstances. What?
I hear a certain base black man saying beta.
Yeah, so do I.
By the way. Yeah,
I know. Of course, who is a national treasure.
Spoon's memories of dreams of monarchy. Yeah, that is. I have actually dreamed about Prince or King Charles.
Would you dream about Prince Charles? King Charles, excuse me.
Yeah, I dreamt I met him. Which is really, really weird.
So I was just watching, like, I often watch Chrissy Mayer's podcast.
Why the hell does this thing keep fucking flashing black?
But I just saw this clip from her earlier today where she said that she had a dream that Tim Pool went down on her. And I was just like, oh.
I've never had a sex dream about a YouTuber, thank God.
I have. I won't say who. It's not you, don't worry.
I don't know if I should be offended by that comment slightly. I could make this very, very uncomfortable for you. But I won't because I'm nice.
Like, it's
Unlike
it's
you,
usually like
right
usually it's very weird though. Like when I'll have like, I don't remember. Do you remember your dreams at all? Vividly. I almost don't remember any of mine. Really, you like remember them like long term?
I can remember my sex dreams in extreme detail.
No, I don't have any. Like I can remember them for like about like 30 minutes, like right after I wake up, and then they completely eviscerate into the ether, and I can't remember.
I recall fucking older blonde woman on top of like a broken bridge and like a Fallout 3 kind of structure, which is rubble down
nice.
below, which is really, really weird.
I don't know. I just like if I wake up, and that's how people write their dreams down, I guess, is because I think that like, because dreams are all, fiction that your brain creates. I don't remember almost any dreams. Most of my dreams are nightmares. The only ones that I remember are nightmares. the ones I don't remember are
I dream about men with woman's eyes. What the fuck?
like.
Oh, that was a reference to the.
Oh yeah. I just don't remember most of my dreams. I think if you get into the process of trying to remember, actually trying to remember them, you can get into it. But I don't remember most of my dreams. The only ones I really remember are nightmares.
It's when if the dream wakes you up.
Which are mostly nightmares for me, yeah. Like, okay, so have you had the teeth falling out dream?
No.
Never? You've never had that dream?
No.
The someone chasing you dream?
Yeah, my uncle.
Well, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
And
But like
he
everybody.
shot me.
Oh God! Like people have that kind of dream. Like that's very common. That someone's chasing you. That's a very common dream. The teeth falling out is very common. I've been told. Like, but I don't believe there's no real scientific evidence behind this. By the way, this
Had
is
a
all.
dragon chasing me before.
People say that the teeth falling out dream, which is actually very, very common, is some kind of evidence of fear of failure. And I mean, I guess so. That makes sense from who I am, But yeah, I've had that one a lot. The teeth falling out one is very consistent with. I don't know why.
Yeah, okay, I've not had that. I think the one that I can remember quite well is traveling on a flying couch.
Okay, that sounds fun.
Over a river, and then it dumps me.
Repeating
into the river.
Do you have the repeating dream of like being at school and being unprepared,
No.
or failing a class? You never had those dreams.
No.
Oh my gosh, I have those all the time. That one, that's like the only dreams I remember. I constantly have dreams about being constant. Even as a 32-year-old woman, I've constantly have dreams about being in school.
I've only had one dream that was recurring, and I even know what caused it. And I can tell you the video. If you type in sleep induction on YouTube.
Oh.
And you see the thumbnail is of someone, looks like they're skydiving from a building. It looks like someone just like without a parachute.
Oh, did you had the falling dream?
No, it wasn't that. But I was listening to that before I went to sleep. Twice.
Yeah.
And it gave me extremely vivid nightmares.
Yeah.
Like holy crap, vivid nightmares.
I watched a video about night terrors, and then I went to sleep right after watching it, and I had very vivid nightmares. I don't remember what they were about, but
it was a
they
green
scared the shit out of me.
dragon chasing me.
Minister Fetterman, he said the falling out, teeth falling out.
Fuck off, green dragon. Like Deathwing was green chasing me.
Yeah. Bleach Demon says Spoon's memoir is ZZZ Dreams of Monarchy for 2. A Hef for $10 says Spoon dreams about men with women's eyes. And then Rob Walker for 5 says, I dreamt that someone filled the toilet with mini corn dogs and cubed cheese. I flushed it to clear it.
That was a
plugged
TikTok
the toilet,
video recently.
Though, and woke up. Was it a recent TikTok video?
Yeah, well, they filled the toilet bowl with like dessert.
Oh,
and
they
drank it.
put. Oh, I no, it's not recently. Yeah, I so weird. Oh, okay. I want to get to a couple things that I actually have been wanting to talk about. So I'm kind of all right. We're gonna blaze through some of this. No more article reading because. Okay, more than 60% of young men are single, nearly twice the rate of unattached young women, signaling a larger breakdown in the social romantic
Jeez, I wonder
life
why.
of the American male. Well, that's the reality. Like, you look at these women. I'm not going to go into this article in too much detail, but why do you think that is? It's just the basic detail.
You want me to be honest? How base can I be?
Yeah. Be based. Be based. Tell me what you think.
Honestly, I think it is because men do not value themselves. I think it's because women are massively up their own ass. They want to force themselves in the business world where they are not supposed to ever be. Women should never hold power. They're not fit for that. It is not their role. Their role is to be a homemaker and is to be a mother. And they should get the fuck out of any position of power because that's what men are for.
I agree with that. That's much of it. I also think that like men look, if you've seen the Plenty of Fish data, which I've brought up before, is that women are all looking for like this top like 1% of men to mate with, right? But
you are not in the top 1% of women ever.
So no, you're never, of course, but all women are trying to get the top 1% of men, obviously. But women will fuck around, they'll date around trying to see like, oh, can I make this man into a top 1% man?
No.
That's what they'll do. But they are not looking at any men. Like, if you look at, there was a video from one of those. We've watched their videos before. One of those like outlets that does those interviews with people. The one that we watched the other week about with what's his that based Asian life, you know. I saw that video recently, they asked women like what they expect from men, and these young women all said like, "Oh, I expect them to make like $500,000 a year, at least $100,000 a year." By the way, $100,000 a year, the $500,000 a year, that's the top 1%, okay, of earners. But even over $100,000 is the top 10%. So every single woman, it seems, or almost all women expect their man, any man that they will be interested in, to be in the top 10%. Well, guess what? That's not how that works out.
I blame phones for that.
Statistically, it doesn't work out that way. I mean, it's insane to me. Why?
It's not really insane to me. I can understand why.
No, it is. To me, it's insane. Why aren't you looking for someone who actually likes? Why it's like, no, he has to make this much money. He has to make this much money.
Because of fucking TikTok and Instagram.
I know.
They have this insane expectation of, oh, this is what men are like. Like, no, bitch, you're interfacing with a device that shows you the upper echelon of men.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that fucking device, your expectations of what men are in the real world would be grounded in the real world. What you're seeing is not the real world, you stupid bitch.
Yeah, but instead, like, the average woman, and I mean average, you know, like, I would say that in terms of myself, appearance-wise, say I'm fairly average. Like, I don't think I'm, you know what I look like. Most of the chat knows what I look like.
Yes.
But I'm saying I'm like average. I'm like a 5. You know, I'm like a solid 5.
Most of the chat doesn't know what I look like, thank God for that.
But I'm saying I'm like a solid 5. And I'm okay with that. I don't have a problem with that in any way. But I'm not beautiful. I'm not like super hot. But I'm also not cripplingly, you know, unattractive. I'm mad average. Okay.
Yeah, but your voice is like a 9. You talk in an Asian way and you make men all kinds of stupid.
Oh, so that's okay.
I don't think you realize how many men find that attractive. Like, it's stupid. Or like that weird phone sex voice you have.
Silence yourself, bird person. I will have none of this degeneracy.
Stop calling me a bird person, Bill. I don't know. Yeah, what kind of naked though?
Also, I'm not a 10, by the way. I consider myself about a 9.
You are, look, okay, so I gotta be honest. I know what you look like, but you're not my type. So I would not give you a 9, but that's because you're not my type.
Well, 10? Okay, you know, that's alright.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, you're not my type.
Yeah, okay, but ask a girl who is.
Yeah, but you're like, yeah, okay, so, like, Spoon's, like, muscular and bald and you know, built and shit. So, you know, yeah, for probably the vast majority of women, probably, like, near a 10, you know, physically.
I'm a bit on the leaner side at the moment.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. But I still have all my muscle. Like, if I
he's
still weights, like, I'm shredded.
He's muscular. My type is Bill. He's my husband. Obviously, my type is Bill.
Like, if I lift weights, I look like a, you know, those, like, you know, those diagrams you see of, like, muscle diagrams. I look like that.
Actually, I didn't even ask you. How tall are you? I don't even know.
Just shy of 6 foot.
Okay. That might be it. Some women have ridiculous things about height, you know. How sexy is Bill? The sexiest is ever.
My main sex appeal is the accent, though. I'm well aware of this.
Yeah, you have a nice voice.
Yeah. Deep voice and brains get you very, very far.
Dutchman has asked me to not talk.
Good, base Dutchman. You see, when you talk like that, that's not as attractive because it's missing the high pitch.
Oh,
that's very that's like a teacher strict.
Yeah, watch this. But これは私の日本語にを話しての声. This is my voice when speaking in Japanese. Wakaru? Like, I just speak, like, if it's like speaking Japanese, and it's like, oh, nani o hanashite. Like, I don't know what you want me to say. But like, nani o hanashite ka. That's just how I speak in Japanese. Oh, look how there was no difference. Because that's how I fucking speak in Japanese. There's an accent. But like, if I say like, oh, spoon, speak in fucking Afrikaans. And what's the difference? Okay, so I said
Afrikaans praten, moet ik zeggen.
Yeah, I said there's no difference between I said nanimo.
Daar is geen verschil in wat niet.
Yeah, there's nanimo. There's no difference. If I'm speaking actual Japanese, I can do the like fucking kawaii shit. So this is funny. This is not funny. Excuse me, this is not funny at all. What we were assuming was funny. This is actually extremely not funny. Schoolgirls protesting in Dover after an Afghani teenager raped a teenage student. They are protesting because they're too afraid to return to school. Look at this shit.
Not that serious in a way, because they've let them boys come back into our school without an issue.
So, do you know if the girl that was allegedly assaulted is coming back?
No, because she's frightened.
Well, of course.
She's traumatized.
Of course she's frightened and traumatized.
She was raped, you fucking idiot.
She was raped. I mean, it's unbelievable, but like, these young girls are being treated as if they're being unreasonable, which is insane. I'm sorry that we made a really quick, like, thematic shift. Like, there's a tone of gas right there.
Terrified. As a community, we are terrified for ourselves. As for that girl.
Did it happen in the school?
Well, yes.
It did?
Yes, and allegedly, and nothing has been done about that. No one has took it into consideration that the boys would do it again.
So their main concern is us protesting up here.
Their main concern is us causing a riot, basically.
So they're saying that there's no proof it happened in the school?
They're too concerned about like skirts and bunkers.
We have assemblies about our uniform, our attendance, the way we look, but they don't do anything about sexual assault.
So I don't know I don't know exactly this girl with the red paint on her face, but the school was told the girls to dress differently to appease the foreigners. I'm not going to read really how they phrased it in the video, or the person who posted this video, but I think that's the case. Is that they said dress differently so you don't get raped by Afghanis. We're like here in the UK, we're living in an invaded land, I would say. A slosher for $10 Canadian says dating apps also create a warped idea type of BF a woman can get. A woman who is a 4 can sleep with a 9, but that guy will not date. Yes, exactly. Let alone marry her. Makes them not want to settle for a 6. Yeah, exactly. That is exactly it.
Guys
is
will
that,
sleep
yeah,
for a 4. What the fuck?
Well, very, very, like nice looking guys might fuck you, but they won't date you, and they certainly won't marry you. I really want to get to this. This is super important. Some guys will, though. I really want to get to this. It's very, very long. We're not going to get into all of this. As you can see, like, here's all the examples. We're not going to get to all of them. But I'm sure that you have heard about this. I'm assuming, I know I told you about it, but that Roald Dahl's books have been censored. Roald Dahl is the guy who wrote Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He wrote the BFG. He wrote The Witches.
And this is why you're going to have the original versions all over Pirate Bay.
Well, yeah, of course. So, Words Matter begins a discreet notice which sits at the bottom of a copyright page of Puffin's latest editions of Roald Dahl's books. The wonderful words of Roald Dahl can transport you into different worlds and introduce you to the most marvelous characters.
Which one, Gary?
This book was written many years ago. Oh, Gary, I skipped your super chat. Hang on.
Which one?
Gary said, would you guys consider any country hosting a military base to be controlled by the U.S. government?
Yes.
No, not if the U.S. government. Not if the U.S. government wasn't controlling that military base. Personally, I think if
the
that were
US has
true,
a military base on your territory, it is controlling you.
Personally, I would think if that were true, Tokyo or Berlin would look like a shithole. I think that the United States has involvement in. Thank you for the $10 on that, by the way, Gary. But I think U.S. has involvement in those countries, but it doesn't mean that the U.S. is really controlling them. However, they have involvement.
I disagree.
You think it's complete control? You think it's control?
I think. Well, I wouldn't say control, but let me put it this way: there are a bunch of things that your nation needs in order to survive. Two of the things is energy and defense. If you are outsourcing those things to other countries, those countries have leverage over you.
Yeah.
You know, it's two countries in the world that have the most American occupation as far as military goes.
Germany and Japan.
There you go. Why do you think that is? Who do you think is their biggest competition next to China as far as
we conquered them. We conquered. The United States did.
Yeah, okay, but what do you think is the reason for that?
The reasons for maintaining their stationing there
Yeah.
is to maintain power in the region, both in East Asia and in Europe. Yeah.
I think it's because Japan and Germany would knock 7 shades of shit out of the United States when it comes to manufacturing.
That's also very true as well. That's also very true as well.
I think America fears
Very
Japanese and German power.
I agree with you.
They
I think you're right.
would not be able to handle them. I think the Americans are a bunch of faggy capitalists who can't actually handle real competition, so they have to stifle it through other means.
I think you might be onto something. Yeah, absolutely.
I think America very, very much fears German might.
Yeah.
And also because the reason why they fear it, and this is also the reason why they don't want any foreign assistance with Russia. Because if Germany can say, hey, look, Russia is giving us free energy, or not free energy, is selling us cheap energy. Yes. Yeah, they're going to say, why are we paying the Americans a fortune or any money at all for NATO defense?
Clearly about.
Yes, but the thing of it is, if I'm asking one nation to pay me for defense against another nation, and I'm suddenly trading with that nation, and the nation's making me wealthy, I'm going to go to the nation that is asking me for defense and saying, why the fucking hell am I paying you for defense to defend me from a nation that I'm trading with? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Because America wants to sell you their energy for a billion time markup because it has to come over the fucking sea.
Yes, and if they provide the Germans with defense and energy, what does that have America? America has a shitload of power over the German economic market.
Very, very true. I don't want German products in my country because I want to have the best cars. Oh, I don't know about the car stuff, but I like German products.
Yeah, Sennheiser.
I like German
Sennheiser
food.
is shit.
Anyway.
You know if something's made in Germany, you vouch for it being good quality.
Generally speaking. So, simply put, these may not be the words Dahl wrote. So they're just straight up saying they are changing the words of Roald Dahl. The publishers have given themselves license to edit the writer as they see fit, chopping, altering, and adding where necessary to bring his books in line with contemporary sensibilities. By comparing the latest editions with earlier versions of the text, the Telegraph has found hundreds of changes to Dahl's stories. Now, I don't want to read any more of the article because, like, it's clear what's happened. Basically, what happened here is that
on this?
I need to be very clear because I do know a bunch about this. Is that Netflix is actually who bought Roald Dahl's entire collection.
Really?
Netflix. Yes, it was Netflix who bought it, which is bizarre. So
I hear that they're dropping their subscription prices now to gain customers because they've lost a shitload.
Yeah, there's really weird. I'm gonna actually turn this onto the original version. Which, sorry for your eyes. I know I like my dark mode stuff because it's easier to look at.
Bright light.
But this is far. But you see, like, why I did it because now I can actually see this. Okay.
I have a 39-inch screen next to me, and that's
Ladies and Gentlemen is full. Fear and Ugliness is ugliness. In fact, some of the books are treated more seriously than others, or have given more of this treatment than others have. But it's been absolutely insane. So here you have The Witches. They don't wish to speak badly about women. Most women are lovely. Removed. We could round them all up and put them in a meat grinder. Removed. There was something indecent about a bald woman. Removed. How horrid. Disgusting, my grandmother said. Removed. So huge parts of his books. The Witches seems to be the book that is the one that has been most deleteriously affected. And why do I think that it's The Witches? It's because The Witches resembles the women who are rewriting. They are fat and ugly, and they hate the fact that it resembles them. I think that's the reason why they have some problems with The Witches, because they're fat and ugly, and they're also evil and vile, and they probably want to hurt children, and so this book hurts their feelings a whole lot. So, if you're not aware of the Witches in terms of the plot,
always women.
If you're not aware of what the plot of The Witches is that children are brought to this hotel, and there are witches there who are holding a conference essentially for other witches. And witches, they are bald, they have they're gross. Roald Dahl, as always, is extremely apt in being able to describe the grossness of things, which, by the way, children love, because they're like, like, I remember being a child. I'm old, but I'm not that old. Children love hearing kind of gross stories. They care about the grossness. They don't have like proper feet. Their feet are like they have no toes, I think, if I recall correctly. They're trying to remove all of this. Listen to this one in particular. The original line is, you can't go around. This is another character, specifically. An adult character talking to a child, saying, you can't go around pulling the hair of every lady you meet, even if she's wearing gloves. Just you try it and see what happens. Clearly what's happening in this segment is saying, don't go pull at some lady's hair, right? Don't be an asshole, little kid. Like, that's what the sentiment is. They have rewritten this to be, besides, there are plenty of other reasons why women might wear wig, and there's certainly nothing wrong with that. Here's the original line: when an actress wears a wig, or if you or I wear a wig, we would be putting it over our own hair, but a witch has to put it straight on her naked scalp. Line completely removed. Line completely
describes transgenders, that's why.
Removed. Yeah, it's trans who are getting mad about this, obviously, right?
Hippies.
Original line: I simply cannot tell you how awful they were, and how somehow the whole site was made more grotesque because underneath those frightful, scabby, bald heads. These are witches who are being described, by the way. They're like fantastical nightmare creatures.
Should I be offended?
Underneath those frightfully scabby, bald heads. But your head's not frightfully scabby, is it?
No, it's actually very smooth.
There you go. The bodies were dressed in fashionable and rather clothes. It was monstrous. It was unnatural. The whole segment removed. Now, I would very much encourage all of you. I will post this here in the chat if you'd like to read this, and before I read the super chat here. But to read through this entire thing, because it's unbelievable. There are things that are consistent. Any mention of mother or father, as you can see here, I'm going to scroll down so you can see it. But it's not just this one. This is just one example. I missed it. Wonderful parents becomes wonderful family. You can't say parents. You can't say mother and father. So like, so this mother. This is sad. Mothers and fathers becomes parents. Mothers and fathers become parents. Get your mother or father becomes get your family. His mother, his parents. His mother thought it was beautiful because it became just, he thought it was beautiful. You can't have mothers and fathers in this new version. There cannot be mothers and fathers. It has to be all. Mother's dressing table just becomes a dressing table. I think probably the worst work was done probably in BFG, but also there's a lot of work all over the place. James and the Giant Peach has been completely expunged. Charlie and the Chocolate... Actually, this one, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, interestingly, I went over this. I went through all of this entire stuff the other day. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory seems to be the one book that was left alone. Like, they did remove any indication of people being fat, like the gloops. Gloops, is that what they're called?
Gender neutral now.
Yeah. Well, they got rid of any kind of information of them. Oh, this is a funny one. Mike TV himself had no less than 18 toy pistols of various sizes hanging from his belts around his body, and every now and again he would leap up in the air and fire off half a dozen rounds from one or another of these weapons. They're fake guns. Totally, that entire line, entire segment, removed. This is the destruction of art. Oh, you can't call anyone fat. That's a very big thing. You can't call anybody fat, ever. Because guess what? The women who made these changes are fat. I don't have to see them to know that that's true. They're fat and ugly and miserable and lonely. And that's why they have to change everything about Roald Dahl. Now, I posted the link. If you're, I'll pin it. Yeah, no, it is. If you're interested in reading this article and going through because every single change is listed in this article. It's why I wanted to look at this article in particular, because every single link is given here. And most of it is nonsense. Most of it is absolute nonsense. It is 1984, by the way. You can't call people fat. You can't call people ugly. You can't, even if they're evil, even if they're bad characters, you can't call them ugly. They have to be beautiful.
Nah.
Because that's how these people think about things. Because they're evil and they don't want to be called ugly. They don't want to be called fat because they're evil, and it's a bit too close to home.
You fat, ugly, evil bastard.
That's what it's about. I guarantee it was fat women who did this, because I looked through all of this. They hate any indication of thinness, of beauty. And what makes me very upset, I talked to my mom about this. My mom, again, is a preschool teacher. People who have not don't know this about me. My mom's a preschool teacher. Roald Dahl's books are a little bit too advanced for preschool. Okay, they just are. They're like elementary school books, say, right? And when I told Bill about this the other day, he was, I think, understandably upset. We're not upset, but like, thought this shit was fucking lame, because Roald Dahl books are not as big in the US as they are in the UK. In the UK, they're an institution, which is exactly why this happened. Which is, I'm hoping more stuff like this happens in response to nonsense, that Camilla Parker Bowles spoke up. The Queen, by the way.
Yeah,
to point that out. Queen consort, yeah. But the Queen of England said, I don't think so. Camilla, who was joined by the king at the event today, looked up with a smile as she added, enough said. She said, please remain true to your calling, unimpeded by those who may wish to curb the freedom of your expression or expose the limits on your imagination. Her comments were greeted by laughter and cheers of hear, hear. Yeah. Now, it's a very royal phraseology.
But hey,
I'm saying what Camilla said about it. Please remain true to your calling, unimpeded by those who may wish to curb the freedom of your expression or impose limits on your imagination, is a very royal phraseology of saying, fuck off. You know what I mean? That's very royal. It's very royal. It's not just politics. It's a royal phraseology of saying to fuck off with this nonsense. Oh, it's insane, isn't it? I got like 10 more. Okay, I'm gonna go to the new Anne Frank cartoon. Have you seen this, Spoon?
I have not.
All right, here's the new Anne Frank cartoon. Actually, when I first saw this, whenever it loads, I was like, at first I was like, oh, this looks great. This looks wonderful. I really like.
Open your presents.
Okay, so I really liked this at first, until you realize that, oh, it's gonna deal with modern politics. Now, I read the Diary of Anne Frank when I was probably about 8 or 9 years old, right? The first time I read it. And there's some weird stuff in it, but I like the book a lot. And it's a really emotionally powerful book that I think young people should read. It's written by a young person I think people should read. And this is how they've decided to... I have no problem with and put all the Nazi stuff into it, about how evil the Nazis were. Obviously, they were fucking evil. Put that shit all in it. I don't care. But this is how they've chosen to do it.
What are you waiting for, Anne? Open your presents.
Oh, that's so lovely. When you write, who do you actually write to?
To myself, of course.
I prefer to think of my diary as a girl. A best friend. Her name will be Kitty. Kitty. I like it.
Come down, Anne. I'm waiting for you.
Is he a boy from class? Of course.
Who are you talking to, Anne?
Up until a year ago, everyone was in love with me.
Everyone?
It was all so wonderful. Then everything changed.
We're leaving.
no lie, like this makes me emotional just by watching it. Like it literally does. Like you fucking worked your shit on me. I read this book. It makes me emotional. Look, you won, but then you fucked it up.
They told everyone we were to blame for all the world's problems.
This secret apartment is going to be our hiding place. For every person we welcome is a good chance we are saving a life. You could use those characters in your head.
Okay, you've made me emotional, and now you go and do dumb shit.
Make them fight your war somehow.
This young lady here named Kitty is looking for Anne Frank.
Have you seen her?
Oh,
Anne
God.
did not write this diary so that you could worship her. What is important?
Get in the truck.
Do you see what's happening here, Spin? Yeah, do you see what's happening? Okay. Kitty. Okay, have you ever read the Diary of Anne?
No.
Okay.
I'm familiar with her story, though, yes.
Writes in her diary not to, like, an imaginary nobody, but to somebody called Kitty, right? Yeah?
Okay.
And they now are redoing it so that Kitty will come back out of the book in the modern era to do Black Lives Matter shit.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's really fucked up and weird.
And makes no sense.
Ugh.
Do everything you can to save one single soul from harm.
It's cringe.
Like this girl got actually fucking gassed, you know? And this is what they do with it now. It's so fucked up. It's so incredibly fucked up.
Just one soul. What do you see, Peter?
I see the Allied forces. They're coming to liberate us. And you?
I see angels, Peter.
I don't like it at all. I'm gonna show a meme because I really, really hate that. And it weirdly hurt me. Well, it's really gay, but it actually hurt me. Congratulations, you actually hurt me. So now I have to post a Nazi meme because fuck you, dude. Because they did make the Nazis look kind of cool. Watch this, guys. Why'd you make the Nazis look dope? Why'd you do
The
that?
Nazis look like Mr. Meeseeks from...
They do look like Mr. Meeseeks.
They do like little faces. They look like Mr.
I know,
Meeseeks from
I know.
Rick and Morty.
That's it. Oh wait, what the hell? I have one thing here that's called "What the hell is this?" Oh, this is just what the hell is this? This is the new Ant-Man and the Wasp from Quantum Mania. This is what the hell is this? This is what they made MODOK look like. Okay, watch. I know this is like in horrible quality and shitty, but the movie just came out, so I don't have it. But what the hell is this?
Maybe you were right about me, Cassie.
This is the current fucking state of the MCU. God damn.
You know what they're trying to do?
What? Look at this! Look at this! I like MODOK, but what's happening?
This is trying to do Darth Vader.
It
is.
I guess so.
You changed your hair.
Are you okay?
Probably not. You always were.
It looks like Spy Kids 3D. Yes, exactly. It's Spy Kids. It looks Spy Kids.
Brother to me. And at least I died. An Avenger.
It looks terrible.
So finally, guys.
I know that this is in like 180p quality, but the movie's not. It is out, but like, I didn't. It was like Shark
I've
Boy and
never
Lava
watched
Girl. Yeah.
any of these movies.
Oh, you haven't watched any of them?
Nope.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like, I watched a whole bunch of them early on because I am a big comic book fan. But as a comic book fan, the more the movies went on, the more I came to not like the movies. I was kind of like, I don't care at all. Oh well.
Gay.
Yeah, it's gay. I think actually is that everything I want to go through? Oh, one more thing. One more thing. No, you know what? I don't really care. I'm just gonna read it. I'm just gonna read it.
From Jackie Chan?
It is. I'm gonna read a couple more things. I'm just gonna read them. The maker of the maker of Zantac, which is I think like a pull it up here. Real
Zantac.
quick. I think it's a anti-allergy pill, but I don't know. Galactus says the heartburn drug doesn't cause tumors, but the company was warned by 10 scientists and independent researchers about the potential danger. Guess what? It causes. Here's the insane thing. We were told 40 years ago this heartburn drug doesn't cause cancer. Guess what? It causes cancer. Oh, weird. One more, real quick.
I noticed
So,
people.
An Australian mother was denied a heart transplant because she wasn't vaccinated.
That's
Every single
inhumane.
fucking day, and a cardiologist. But yeah, of course, it happens every single fucking day. People are being killed because of nonsense. This though. So Australia just denied a mother from getting a life-saving heart transplant because she isn't vaccinated. This is what pure evil looks like. Here's the response from a cardiologist. Hey, Peter, I'm actually a cardiologist and chairman of my hospital ethics committee. This isn't evil. It's actually a wise utilization.
No, it isn't.
Of a scarce resource.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's evil, isn't
Because
it?
she isn't vaccinated.
Because she isn't vaccinated. Yeah. She died. She was killed.
What?
They didn't treat her. They didn't give her a heart transplant, even though she was a young person. Because she didn't follow the rules.
Like
she didn't follow the fucking rules. She didn't follow the goddamn rules. That's what it's about, isn't it?
Is that tweet still up?
It probably is.
I wanna harass that guy.
Yeah, go harass him. Don't harass him. Don't harass anybody. Be nice, everybody. Anywho.
No,
I think that's it for
that's
tonight.
not someone that deserves kindness. That's someone that deserves to
No,
burn
it's
in
not.
hell.
No, he doesn't. No, Nathan Anderson, MD, who said that shit, does not deserve kindness. No, he does not deserve your kindness. He does just look.
Are you sure that's
this
real?
Is the thing. Pretty sure, and he may have deleted the tweet post facto, but I'm fairly sure.
I don't think his account exists anymore.
Oh, he may have deleted his account then.
I wonder why.
Look, I didn't find this like randomly on like 4chan or something. I found this on an article. So.
Yeah, this account doesn't exist.
Oh, so he deleted his account. Is what happened. I found this in a daily in an article from Gateway Pundit. So he deleted his account. Like I'm like it's possible it's fake. I don't know. But someone claiming to be a medical doctor said this. And look, I hope he's not. I hope with all of my heart this is fake. The fact that the woman died is not fake. The fact that the woman died is not fake. Okay? That part's not fake. This part, did she die? She's been denied a heart transplant, so she's going to die no matter what, probably. What did I say here?
Vicky Derailment has relied on ventricular assistance for her weak heart after it failed in 2020 due to her condition. She received a medical exemption from the coronavirus vaccine. She received a medical exemption. Oh my God. To avoid the off chance she might get myocarditis or pericarditis. When it came time to receive her desperately needed heart transplant, Victorian Department of Health and Human Services denied her. She said she didn't have to take the fucking vaccine because of the potentiality for myocarditis and pericarditis. Let's just watch this.
No heart. That's the situation facing Melbourne mother of two, Vicky Derailment.
Oh my God.
In 2020, Vicky's heart failed, and ever since she's been living with a VAD, a battery-operated life support device that mechanically pumps blood around her body. And what Vicky needs is a heart transplant, but she can't get her name on the list because of COVID vaccine mandates, even though she has a legal exemption from the jab.
Vicky and her husband John join us now live in Melbourne, along with Today medical expert Dr. Nick Coatsworth, who is live in Canberra. Vicky, let's come to you first. Now, obviously our hearts go out to you. How can you explain how you found yourself in this situation and what life is like for you day to day?
Yeah, back in 2020, I had a very severe heart failure, which at the time it pretty much my organs started shutting down. So I wasn't ready for a transplant back then. So the only choice for me at that time was to go on ventricular assist device, which is a mechanical pump that pumps blood throughout the body, because my heart couldn't. And in order for me to do that, I had to undergo a very difficult procedure, because these machines are inserted surgically. I was in intensive care for 1.5 months. I was on life support because I couldn't breathe. After being discharged from intensive care, I spent another 3 months in hospital and also rehabilitation.
I don't know.
I had to learn.
Sorry, Vicky. I don't know how you're still alive. And the other thing is, you like, all power to you for having the spirit to keep living. You haven't had the COVID vaccine.
Give your hands
you
up.
decided not to get it because of complications.
Well, for me, I'm not anti. I need to make this clear. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I have taken all the necessary vaccinations to be as my workup towards heart transplant. But when it came to COVID-19, reading up on all the information and also knowing about my condition, I wanted to minimize risk as much as possible, because, as you know, heart transplant is not a walk in the park operation. It's very complicated and it has a lot of risks. And to face those risks on top of an unknown risk from a vaccination that has had partial approval, I had to think twice, and it's a very hard decision. I don't sit.
Sorry, Vicky. I completely get what you're saying. But does that prevent you in Victoria at the moment from getting life-saving surgery? Explain that to the audience.
That's right. The hospital stance at the moment is no jab, no heart.
Yeah. And was only happier.
And it's been. I'm ready to be on the heart transplant list, because medically I'm stable to be on it. But unfortunately, because of these mandates, it has interfered with patient-doctor relationship. Patients like myself, we are being pushed in a corner and coerced to take something that goes against what we believe in, or not receive life-saving treatment. And also for doctors as well, they are forced to implement this on their patients, otherwise they'll lose their jobs. So today, I have utmost highest respect for all my treating team at the Alfred Hospital.
It is a difficult one, isn't it? Because this is the thing, these are rules that are in place in hospitals to keep patients safe. Dr. Coatsworth, if we can bring you in now, these vaccine rules are in place for a reason. Can you explain to us why?
Well, I'll talk to Vicky and John. Vicky and John, it's an incredible story that you've gone through over the past 3 years, and you're obviously an incredibly strong woman to get through that. You've highlighted how important
through my Lord. That's how I get my strength.
And I think faith is such an important thing here. But the other thing that's sacred, of course, Vicky, is the sacred donation of the organ by the organ donor and their family. And from a transplant physician's point of view,
okay, just to be clear, if you're receiving a heart transplant, the person is dead. The other person is dead. Okay, just to be clear.
Unless it's a kidney or something.
Not for a heart.
Yeah.
For a heart, the other person is dead. And it is based in Christfield, what's happening right now. But like what Vicky said, which I feel for this woman so much. This poor woman. So upset.
I'm an infectious disease physician. I've looked after lots of people with transplants. I've had friends and patients of mine die of infectious complications after transplant, and COVID-19 is one of those complications. I agree with you when we talk about risk, but from the transplant physician's point of view, the biggest risk to you is when we hit your immune system like that, if you get COVID-19 without having the vaccine.
But the vaccine doesn't prevent
The
you from
vaccine
getting
doesn't prevent you from getting it.
It doesn't prevent you from
Fucking
getting it.
idiot.
It doesn't prevent you from. It actually doesn't even prevent you. It doesn't prevent you from suffering
He's just
from
a
it.
sim from for fucking
So
Pfizer.
he's just
Fuck
lying.
this guy.
Yeah, you Pfizer sim. You fucking asshole. This woman needs a fucking heart transplant, you loser.
Then there's a really significant risk that you'll die and that organ will die with
You're.
No, fuck off.
Shut up.
you. And we don't want that to happen to you, and we certainly don't want it to happen to the family who's made that sacred donation. So it's such a complex area. I don't envy
not complex.
your decision.
It's real goddamn simple.
Give her a
They told her
heart.
she can't. They told her she should not get this vaccine because of myocarditis and pericarditis. So you, as a supposed doctor who's out here saying, well, we can't also give you a heart because you can't get a fucking heart because you were told not to get a jab because of the potentiality for pericarditis and myocarditis, which, by the way, has been hyper confirmed at this point now that is a I'm not trying to say anything. I'm not trying to say anything negative about anyone who received the vaccine. I know you're about to go to sleep, Spoon. I'm about to pass out as well. Like, well, not going to pass out, but I know you're very tired. Spoon, you didn't get the jab, did you?
Fuck no.
Obviously,
I am
nor did I.
pure-blooded. Check it
Nor
and
did I.
see.
Now, why did I didn't get the jab? Because I was worried about fertility issues. That's why I didn't get it. Okay.
I didn't
'Cause
get it
already
because I
have
just
a
saw the entire world was doing the same thing. I thought, this is really stupid. Fuck off.
Well, there was no evidence there was no research that had been conducted on people who have. I have a very specific. I am in scientific studies because I have this very. I have a very very specific potential fertility issue that I already have called endometriosis, and it was not studied in any way with this vaccine. So I chose not to take it because it was not studied. And I already know there was a potentiality for fertility issues. That was outside of all my existing health issues. And in fact, I was told by a doctor not to take it because of other issues that I had because of my health. Okay? So I didn't fucking take it. Just like this lady didn't take it because she was told not to. And now you're out here shaming her. Shaming her. In fact, she can't get a fucking heart. Let's just finish this up. And I know, let's finish this up. It's been, and we'll go to bed. I have one last thing I'll play to make it. People say this is very depressing. It's very depressing. I'll just play some info right after this. All right.
Decision, but I do stand by the rules that the transplant physicians have made.
Of course you stand by the
So
rules,
Nick, our doctors
Nazi,
now
you literal Nazi,
deciding not to treat someone.
I'm sorry, like you are an actual like fucking stormtrooper at this point, and not the cool kind. You're just you just follow rules and you fucking do whatever the fuck you're told. You fucking fascist. There's no other way to describe it. You're a goddamn fascist. There's no other way to describe it. Get fucked. Yeah, authoritarian. That should be more clear. Like, Nazi is overused. You're a fucking authoritarian dipshit.
Suck my dick. Fuck off. I'm so angry.
Because of the chance of getting COVID-19 in a hospital, are we stopping treating people now?
On the contrary, Carl, this is an active treatment decision by the medical community. This hasn't changed during COVID-19. We knew that this was such a problem, COVID-19, for transplant recipients, that before the vaccine, we actually stopped.
Yeah, thank you, Bleached Human for 5, who says, rip the heart out of the doctor if he effing had one. I agree. I think something else that I didn't read, Pure Stress for $10 says, oh yeah, I read that one. Then Hasidius said for 5, count on lefties to make everything good or beautiful and then ruin it. Oh, I did read that one as well, yeah.
Transplants in a lot of cases. So we do think, I know there's
I'm
a lot.
tired. Fuck this dude. I'm gonna watch this for 5 minutes before we go to bed.
Hunter, I'm full. Today on Bottom Gear, I drive a silent electric car, Hammond uses a fucking toilet, and James commits arson. Warning, Sean budget does not exceed 23 yen. Good evening, ladies and gents. Today our sponsors are Emercy Colgate B450. Check them out. Promo code revving my wife tonight. Fuck. Today we'll be reviewing one of the Kin vehicle that has about 2.3 gigahertz revving engine sound. Goes up to the, I don't know, fucking 88mm for every time I find a proper job in it. Basically. Oh, mate, we are going to the ass. Do you want anything? Oi, love, you posh dickhead, I have gone my back and give me ciggy in it. She's told bloke to have to fuck along fish and chip, bloody off. Hammond, you tiny man, where's the Lambo Chevy? Gonna crash into James' car, mate. Hammond, you sodding tech-tactus with my Lamborghini. Call 999, me fucking car's being on fire, mate. Hammond, I have crack addiction, I'm dying. Jeremy, I have to rent divorce papers today. I don't know what to do next. Please help me, I can't go have petroleum normally. Tell me, I'll meet him gear. What happens when they taste exhaust fume? Okay, I'll have a whiff. Air noise. No, Jeremiah, car got bass for health. Shut up. Cock. Shut up, James. The spade is a lot, mate. Weed. Car. Feet. Bottom. Oh my god. Welcome back to Bottom Gear, mates. Tonight on Gear Cars, I steal my stupid neighbor's Ford Focus. Hammond gets kidnapped by drug lords in Colombia. And James gets into the voices. This week's sponsors is Mosey, yeah? Check them out. Right proper headphones. Hi, on Top Gear for Cars. Jams, me fellow colleague, object of the Bottom Gear team. I miss me wife. Okay, lads, now it's time for the news. Look at this fast car, mates. When this baby hits 141 kilometers per hour, yeah, you're gonna see some serious shite, mate. Why, mate, the speed's giving me a right proper aneurysm. Getting real hard to drive the car, mate. Stick one out, I'll drive the fast car. Tonight, we have an exclusive look on the cyber crash team. Oi, James, mate, you got to perform the acceleration in this rare crack cocaine. I'm dabbing on them fucking haters, James. Oi, mates, listen to this, yeah? Hammond, help me, I'm above your house, mate. Our challenge today, buy a car for 823 yen and drive them from the wagon to North Korea. That's a bit stupid, isn't it? Hammock, look at this car I just got for 20 quid. How about we rev one for the lads watching? I think I revved one too much. I hope we're insured. Oi, blokes, the exhaust fume tastes kind of funny, eh? Hammond idiot brought car crash in field camp. Hammer, oi, we need more movie, yeah? I'm addicted. Bottom Gear, the game coming to the console in 20 minutes. This is the new Lambo middle I was telling you about, Jam. Don't care, mate. Cocker. Today we will be fuck 2001 Chevy Highlander. She took the bloody kids, Jeremy. Fucking hammock. Noise.
Done. Enough. Go watch that guy's video. I will post it in the chat here. I think I've got it in the link, obviously. Yeah. Go go watch this video. Watch the rest of it. It's hilarious. It's very, very funny. Enjoy. And I think that's it for tonight. I hope that that helped get out of the depressingness that we were in before we closed out. And a very simple. Jarniki for 5 though says, "Yo, can we see that Hogwarts Legacy green text from Twitter for a giggle?" Hogwarts Legacy green text. I haven't seen it. So, I'm sorry, Jarniki, I haven't seen it. So I don't actually know. I mean, I could imagine what it is. But thank you all for watching so much. And thank you all for hanging out with us for as long as you have. And Spoon's going to sleep. I'm working on a video. It will come out in March. There's no way it's coming out in February, obviously. It's just not. I was sick for too long in February for me to do a video this month. Anywho, even though I've done these streams, I've been sick as fuck. Thank you all so much for watching. And thank you guys so much for all your donations. It's actually incredibly
generous. Thank you very much.
Generous, and not just generous. It's actually flabbergasting to me. Thank you guys. I'm so happy that y'all seem to like the stream. And
when we say and do dumb shit,
we'll see you on next Wednesday, and I'll give you an update on my video as well. Thank you guys for watching again, and we will see you next week. Bye bye.